Michigan International Speedway, just over an hour outside of Detroit, is where you find the fastest speeds in NASCAR. With 6 races left in the regular season for the Xfinity Series, there's a lot on the line today in the Irish Hills.
Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. That's the way to hang in there. That's how you do it! Heck yeah! Hell yeah, boys! Woo!
That's amazing. It's a dream come true.
This is unbelievable.
Our first win! Yeah!
Welcome everyone to Countdown to Green. NASCAR's once-a-year trip to the Motor City comes at a critical point in the season. Desperation setting in for some, with the playoff cut line coming quick. The Peacock Pit Box located in stall number 42. Beautiful day on a cloudy but pleasant afternoon here at MIS. Hi, everyone. Marty Snyder along with our crew chief, Steve Letarte, and the big guy, Brad Daugherty. So, Steve, let's talk about this racetrack. I mean, the pole speed, almost 190 miles an hour for Josh Berry, by far the fastest of the year. What kind of speed challenge is Michigan International Speedway for a crew chief?
Well, I think everyone can understand for the driver, a football field a second is a lot to take in. But for a crew chief, every decision you make on the race car is multiplied. Every aerodynamic characteristic at 200 miles an hour can drive your car tight or loose. Traffic can end your day, Brad. So the higher speeds, I think, puts more pressure on every decision made.
Yeah, especially that guy sitting there holding the wheel. And we have a lot of inexperience in this crowd of the Xfinity Series of these tracks where we're running 200 miles an hour in traffic like they're going to experience today. So I expect to see a lot of mistakes, especially when you're moving the air around on these race cars. We could see it all, but we're going to see 200 miles an hour.
Well, as much fun as we expect this race to be today, might be hard to match the end of the race last week from Road America, which included 4 leaders in 1 lap.
Allgaier has been exceptional so far.
Elbows up. Go get it, buddy.
4 to go.
Whoa!
We just have to take it out here.
Sammy Smith, wrong place, wrong time.
He's putting the window net down. He's done.
Yeah, won't even roll.
Cole Custer, same thing.
I think I'm killed, huh?
Double overtime.
All right, get your head right.
Side by side, great battle for number 1 spot. 3 wide as they come into the corner. Allgaier sideways.
Hang on, hang on. Straighten it out, hang on.
I'm over it. Sorry, boys.
They're side by side. Mayer goes way off the racetrack.
Sage Kara goes out in front.
Nice, smooth, Mark, the rhythm.
Sage Kara, blue turn number 13, and Parker Clearman goes by.
None of those drivers had clean laps. They all missed corners.
But here comes Sam Mayer.
Coming checkers.
Sam Mayer, he will score his first career victory.
And we're lucky to be able to stand out here in Victory Lane where Sam hopes he finds himself again at the end of this race. Sam, after that first win, I've always enjoyed going back to the racetrack because you walk around in that garage, everybody's patting you on the back. What's this weekend been like since win number 1?
Yeah, you know, like, I just feel way better in myself. Like, my confidence is way up, and obviously all the people around me at Junior Motorsports, they're pumped up. Like, getting that second win of the year as a company, it always feels really good, and I think that we have a lot more to come here.
That lap in which you got to lead, that next to last lap, was one of the wildest ones that I could ever remember. Tell us about it from your perspective.
Yeah, you know, like, we didn't really know what the racetrack had. There was speedy, dry, and oil all over the place, so we were just trying to manage what we had, and the first car off into the corner usually missed the corner, so it was just about kind of learning what the car or the track had, and obviously we came out on top, just learning and getting through the attrition of it.
Well, let's talk about today. What kind of racetrack do you think we have? What kind of race are we going to see?
Yeah, you know, like, I think it's going to be a good race because there's going to be a lot of moving around, I think you're going to be able to make the yellow line work, and then you're going to be able to make the resin work towards the end of the race. So you're going to be a lot of searching and moving around. There's going to be cars coming and going. I think it's going to be a good show.
That's what I love about this racetrack. I think all the drivers do a lot of room out here, Marty, to move around and find your speed.
I would say Dale Jr. loves this racetrack. He won here twice in the Cup Series. So, Steve, this is how it works in NASCAR. You win, you're in the playoffs, like Sam Mayer now officially locked in.
Yeah, 8 names locked in. Names in yellow have gone to Victory Lane. But more shocking to me, Brad, are the names that aren't in yellow.
I agree.
Josh Berry, Hamrick, Creed, Kligerman, Jones, big names have yet to go to Victory Lane. And that's where I think over these next 6 weeks, that pressure on the right side of of the screen continues to build.
So the other side of this, Brad, is the battle for the regular season championship and the 15 playoff bonus points that come with that. And it seems like there's a new leader in that every week.
Well, there is. It seems like, and I tell you, any one of these guys all the way down to Riley Herbst has an opportunity. All it is just putting that weekend together. We got 6 more races left. That's a ton of racing, so anything can happen. But we've seen Nemechek and Hill be dominant and stay at the top of the leaderboard most of the year, but I think it's still pretty wide open because of how many races we have left.
Well, and to Brad's point, Steve, no one's really set themselves up as the championship favorite. So if you had to say right now, who do you think the championship favorite is?
Well, I'm going to take a guy that has the most experience in racing, and that's not the number of starts, but where he's been, and that's Cole Custer in that 00. He came from the Cup side back to Xfinity. It was a slow start to the year. They would admit it. But when I talked to Cole Custer and his crew chief, Jonathan Toney, they just seem relaxed and confident about what they have. I like the lack of emotion. Emotion sometimes can breed great things in sports. But Brad, there's a big difference between the regular season and the postseason. And for that reason, I'm going to take my man Cole Custer. I think he has set himself apart as someone who can handle the pressure.
Who do you think, Brad?
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at Justin Allgaier. He's got 425 starts in this series. He's been in that championship 4 or 5 times. I am just not convinced that Justin Allgaier is not going to win a championship. And I think because of the pressure not being directly on him, the spotlight, he's capable of doing it this season just because we're not paying attention to him.
So wait a minute, you both went with experience, and neither one of you picked the 2 guys leading right now?
And those brights are light come the postseason. I'm not saying they won't do it, but they're going to have to prove it every week.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, one driver who's been in the championship conversation since his win earlier this year is rookie Chandler Smith, who went for an absolutely wild ride at Road America last Saturday.
Yeah, one of the longest straightaways in NASCAR. You see the parts out the back of the car. That's from the left rear brake rotor. The gentleman steps on the brake pedal. It goes to the floor. He has a decision. Straight off into turn 1. He turns left, which looks violent because it is, but it could have been much worse if this car continues through that sand head on into the wall that awaited him.
Glad to see he got out of that car okay. Right now, Chandler Smith is with Kim Kuhn.
And Chandler, you just watched the replay of that race and that accident. What did you learn, and how do you reset for Michigan this weekend after a wreck like that?
Yeah, just putting that behind us and going back to oval racing where I love to do. I ain't a big fan of road courses, trying to get better at them. Got a good teammate with A.J. Allmendinger to lean on to kind of build and try to get better over there. But really glad to be here in Michigan. Got a lot of fans here, so looking to put on a good show for them today.
I know you're looking for more consistency, the consistency you guys had at the beginning of the season. Where do you find that?
Momentum. Momentum is big in racing where you're trying to make speed, playoff runs, whatever it is. Momentum is huge, so we just got to get a building block and have one solid finish to try to build off of that, and then the momentum starts from there.
And Marty, I asked Chandler how his car was for the race today. He said, I am not answering that question. Every time I answer it pre-race, it jinxes us, so we have no hand in what this team does today.
Well, you don't want to jinx them, right? Good job there, Kim. So, Steve, everyone kind of has penciled this young driver in as a championship contender. He won earlier this year, but as Kaulig Racing sits, the team that he drives for, are they a championship-worthy team, in your opinion?
Well, Kaulig came on the scene and really impressed right away. If you look back to 2020 and 2021, tremendous amount of consistency with top 5s and top 10s, and I thought they were charting towards a championship contender. But Brad, to be quite honest, since they've expanded to the Cup Series, I believe Kaulig Racing has kind of plateaued in the Xfinity side. I just don't see the continued growth. Now, look, they've won 4 races this year, so everybody can say, look, great year. Well, 3 of them were with Cup drivers.
Yeah.
Right? They won 2 with A.J. Allmendinger and 1 with Larson. They've only won 1 with Chandler Smith. So if they want to be considered a championship contender, Brad, I need to see their Xfinity drivers racing for wins.
Yeah, I agree with that. As you talked about, we saw this momentum come out of this organization several seasons ago, and man, they were building this tremendous momentum towards winning championships in the Xfinity Series. They go into the Cup Series. It does seem like that all of the resources are stretched amongst all of these race teams, and they don't seem to be performing at the level we're accustomed to seeing over the last several years. You take A.J. Allmendinger to Road America, and I think you're going to lap the field, and they did not perform, and it was basically pieces and parts performance there, but still, there's something missing in this Kaulig thing.
Well, so much sports tradition in the state of Michigan. Brad, you know that very well.
Yes,
college sports, of course, with their 7 D1 schools that are here in the state of Michigan. By the way, Steve may or may not, Brad, have played at Eastern Michigan's home course yesterday. I'm just saying.
About 36 holes.
Yeah, I think that's somewhere around the number. Plus the Tigers, the Red Wings, the Pistons, and the Lions, who, by the way, start the NFL season against the Chiefs right here on NBC. And now for 54 years, the sounds of NASCAR at Michigan International Speedway. Fans, download the official app of NASCAR. Follow the action with free live scoring, in-car up cameras, and radio broadcasts. You can also upgrade to premium for full access to driver audio channels and an ad-free experience. Search NASCAR in your app store and start a free trial today. Well, here's the schedule for tomorrow from MIS. You can catch everything for the Cup Series on USA. Of course, the battle there. Can Chase Elliott make it into the playoffs? Countdown to Green starting at 2 p.m. But today, it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series as the playoff push continues.
It's a massive opportunity to go out there and prove that I belong at this level.
These drivers are getting more and more tension built up as we're getting closer to the playoffs.
Ultimately have a lot of people picking us to go far in the playoffs, but right now we'll take the dark horse card and run with it.
When do you go on offense and when do you play defense? Those split-second decisions that will determine a championship and who loses it.
Starting to have better runs, have better speed this year, but racing these guys isn't easy, and just need to put it all together for a win.
The cut line continues to shrink. Brad, you know the fun part about the NASCAR playoffs. Number one, a win changes everything. But number two, the cut line is always moving, and this is proof right here.
I'm telling you, these guys are doing the conga here with this little cut line. It's just moving along, but it's pretty smooth until we start getting a little bit further down the schedule. And you're going to notice that number 2 card with Sheldon Creed starts to ebb and flow into the wrong direction. Starts to struggle a little bit, Steve.
Well, I don't think we can say it enough. 6 more weeks, right? This is not the Cup Series. They still have 6 weeks, and you can see how quickly those names move at any of those 6 races along the way.
One driver who has been in the middle of it all is Riley Herbst. He's with Kim Kuhn.
That's right, Marty. And Riley finished 4th at Pocono last weekend, a 5th place finish at Road America. With 6 races to go in the regular season, do you feel like you and the team are putting together what you need to make the playoffs?
Yeah, Cam, I just think that we've been doing what we did in the start of the year. We've just been bringing fast race cars to the track, courtesy of Stuart Haas Racing, and I've been doing my job the last few weeks of executing and finishing where we're supposed to finish, and hopefully we can put this Monster Energy Ford Mustang in victory lane today and get my first career win.
Riley Herbst, 25 points to the good. On the other side of that coin is Parker Kligerman. He's standing by with Junior and Jeff.
Parker, it's that time of year we're going to talk about points in the playoffs. That's what we're here to do. The pressure's on. You guys got a little ground to make up. How do you guys get it done?
Well, Jeff, you know it really requires speed. In the Xfinity Series, as you saw in that graphic, that amazing graphic our production team put together, which is awesome, by the way, it showed me that we've been pretty consistent. The others have come back just a little bit, but it comes down to speed in this series because you're going to be racing these same 12 or so cars every week, and we're all fighting for those same stage points. And so if that's the case, then we just have to be faster. And, you know, I think that's something our whole Big Machine Racing team has been working on. Patrick Donahue making great decisions. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes for a young race team. But, yeah, I think we are getting better. We're starting to see that. Last week was another just, you know, feather on our cap for those sorts of things happening. But if we can just keep improving the speed over the next 6 weeks, I see us in the playoffs.
Well, you got a little bit of practice, and I know that you have the information to be able to compare yourself to those people we saw in that graph with you. Where do you feel like you guys are this week?
You know, this week, I actually think we're a little closer than we showed in qualifying and in practice. I think this has been a little bit of our mark, is not really having the best Fridays, but being better on Saturdays. And so I'll take that trend all day long because they pay a lot more points on Saturday than they do on Friday, we found out. But, yeah, I think for our Spike Light Core Chevy, it was a little tight, had some little handling issues on entry. We made a ton of changes here from yesterday and today, and so that gives me the optimism that if we normally sort of follow our pattern, we're going to find ourselves with top 10 speed. And if we have that, you know, we can score stage points in both stages and be there at the end. And I like to say we're the kings of 11th in stage 1, which is not a good thing. Usually we're in the points in stage 2, and then we'll find ourselves in the top 5 in stage 3.
Well, Marty, the pressure and the intensity is building back down here, all about these playoffs.
Okay, guys, time for trend reports. How are these drivers trending as they fight for a spot in the playoff? Brad, after a great rally last week, how about Riley Herbst?
Yeah, well, you know, Riley started out, and like we heard Kim say, he's 25 points to the good. Started out the season with 6 top 10s, had a really strong start, had a little bit of lull, but the last 2 races he's had top 5. So I'm very confident that Riley Herbst is in a good spot and is going to be able to advance.
Steve, how is Sheldon Creed trending?
Well, unfortunately for Sheldon Creed, I have him trending down while he's still above the cut line. You know, 22 points above. It's been 8 weeks 8 weeks since a top 10. You just heard Parker talk about how valuable top 10s are. You're not going to be guaranteed in the playoffs if you can't consistently run inside that top 10.
Brad, how about our broadcast partner, Parker Kligerman?
Well, you know, I got him trending up. He's been scratching and clawing every week, and the thing I like is not today, but what's coming up with back-to-back road course races for Parker. That creates a great opportunity.
Good point. Yeah, how about Brandon Jones, Steve? Is he trending in the right direction?
He's driving for the right company to be trending up. Junior Motorsports the last month has had a ton of speed. I do agree with the road courses being the opportunity for Parker is a challenge for Brandon Jones, but once we get past there, Darlington and Kansas is on the horizon, and Brandon Jones, one of the best drivers at Kansas.
Very good racetracks for him coming up, including here today, as you mentioned, Michigan, a spot for him as well. Coming up next, who views Michigan as their shot to win? Brad and Steve will tell us next who they have their eye on as we get closer to the green flag here in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Michigan International Speedway, one of NASCAR's bigger challenges with its unmatched speed of over 190 miles an hour. And this race also comes at a critical point in the regular season with just 6 races left before the Xfinity playoff field is locked in. So, Brad, who looks at today as an opportunity for their race team, in your opinion?
Well, for me, I think it's Brandon Jones. I mean, I'm looking at him. He's had, 5 top 10s in his last 6 races. He comes here. He's won here twice in ARCA. So there's a positive experience here for Brandon Jones. And just like Steve was talking about, as we get later on at Kansas and places like that, he's got another opportunity. So I think they're building momentum. I'm taking Brandon Jones.
Well, the driver I'm looking at, you don't have to look very far because he's going to start on the pole of this race. And that's Josh Berry. So, look. I know he only has 82 starts, which is not a tremendous amount of starts for a driver in his career. But he's moving on, moving up. Yeah. He's going to the Cup Series. He's filling in for Kevin Harvick, a Cup champ. I think Josh Berry wants to lead the Xfinity Series a champion. To do that, he has to win races. He is so fast here at Michigan. I think this is the race they have circled. It is time to turn 2023 around.
Yeah, 0 wins for him so far this year. And the 2 Cup guys in the field, too, Ross Chastain and Ty Gibbs. You get a feeling the win might go through them as well. Time for today's pre-race ceremonies here in Michigan.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as you are able and remove your hats as the Southfield Police Department Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome from St. Francis de Sales High School, Father Jeff Rose.
Almighty God, we thank you for another beautiful, pure Michigan day here at Michigan International Speedway. We ask your blessing upon our drivers and their teams. Keep them safe for us as they compete for us today. And we ask all these things with great faith, hope, and love. Amen.
Here to perform the Canadian National Anthem, please welcome Michigan International Speedway's own Lisa Bascom.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And now, here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from Farmington Hills, Michigan, the Motor City Blend Chorus.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we
On the other side, you won't believe where Junior and Jeff adventure off to, plus Rick Allen and four-time Michigan winner Dale Jarrett as we get the engines cranked just outside of the Motor City on NBC Sports.
Crossing county lines just to make my name in the city. I worked for this for all these years and I wouldn't break or back down. I fought through all my fears and all my frustrations. See the light is getting clear. I know I'm taking it now. It's my time. I'm taking it now. I'm taking it now.
It's going to take tremendous speed to get to victory lane, and that's what we will see here at Michigan International Speedway. It's a NASCAR Xfinity Series, Cabo Wabo 250. Great day here at this 2-mile track. For more stories before we get the command to fire the engines, let's go trackside and hear about the guy who got his first career lap led at this racetrack, Sammy Smith. Kim?
That's right, Rick. Last season, Sammy led a lap here in this race, and it was just one of a handful of races Sammy ran in the Xfinity Series last year. I talked to crew chief Jeff Mendering, who said coming back to these tracks that Sammy was able to visit last year is a big advantage for the young driver because it gives him a baseline to work from. That baseline, that experience allows Sammy to find his rhythm more quickly, know the right questions to ask throughout the race, and the most important, gives him an understanding of what he needs to do as a driver here. He starts in the 9th position, Marty, alongside his teammate John Hunter.
Well, Kim, it's hard to believe that just 2 weeks ago, John Hunter Nemechek had the second largest lead in the regular season championship standings of the entire year. But after finishes of 32nd and 34th in the last 2 races, this team is absolutely reeling. But talking to John Hunter this morning, he said, listen, the tracks coming up are very good for our race team. I'm confident we can get back there. And yes, winning the regular season title, very critical to our race team. There's 15 playoff points that go with that. John Hunter Nemechek and Joe Gibbs Racing wants to certainly claim that with 6 races left here in the regular season. Racing in the Irish Hills has been a tradition for 54 years. Let's get the engines cranked for the Xfinity Series.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome Barstool Chief Correspondents Large and Spider.
Drivers, start your engines!
Hey, let's get it going. We are standing on the racing surface of the Michigan International Speedway. Drivers love this racetrack. Why? Because it's fast. Over 200 miles an hour entering these corners. And then when you get to these corners, there's tons of banking. There's tons of grip. But, Junior, there's also tons of options.
Yeah, that's right. Up here, you see this darker asphalt. This is where it's been treated with resin, and the tire dragons come through here, put a lot of rubber down. It is noticeably more grippy in this racetrack at this lane. If you go a little higher, though, you're going to get yourself in trouble. We've seen it in practice. You're going to go for a ride like whoever did these tire marks down into the pits. They got themselves in trouble getting way too high up the racetrack back in the middle of the turn. There is speed in this lane. The drivers tell me if you commit to it, you can make speed here, but it's probably going to be later in the run.
And when we come back, we're going to drop the green flag, and we're going to see a restart. They're going to be 3, 4, maybe 5 wide coming in this section right here.
NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR is brought to you by Cabo Wabo Tequila, bringing bold taste to Michigan International Speedway. Drink responsibly. Toyota, let's go places. And by Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. Drivers are strapped in, cars are started as we're getting ready for them to roll off of pit road. And with that, we have the opportunity to chat with the guy who leads them off of pit road, Josh Berry. DJ, can you dial him up?
Yeah, let's give this a try. Hey, Josh, Dale Jarrett in the NBC booth. You have a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
All right, Josh, one thing when you come to Michigan, the one word everybody uses is speed. You've obviously shown that with your race car, not only yesterday, but over the last 3 weeks. Junior Motorsports has shown a lot more speed with the cars you're bringing to the racetrack. So you've got that in line. What else is it going to take? What challenges does this racetrack present for you to get that first win today?
Yeah, obviously it's a tough place. The track position is going to be important. So, we need to do everything we can to stay up front while we got it here. But, yeah, man, just a big credit to everybody back at Junior Motorsports, Hendrick Motorsports for everything they've done with our engine program. It's been really strong the last few weeks. So we're all working hard, and we feel like that if today's not the day, our day is coming, and we're just going to keep trying to do the right thing.
Hey, Josh, you're known as a short track racer that came up through the ranks here. Still not a ton of starts on racetracks like this. What are the things that caught your attention that you had to learn the most from that short track background?
I don't know. It's just the intermediates have been pretty good to me for some reasons. I think just how I see these racetracks has helped me out even with my background. So really the most important thing is having really fast race cars. So we've had some good luck here over the last couple of years to have a lot of speed. So we're going to keep after that, and we just need to execute all day on pit road, and got a great pit crew down there that's done a great job all year, and we just got to try to stay up front.
All right, Josh, thanks for talking with us. Have a great day out there.
Thank you, man.
Well, DJ, he's right. He's got a great car. We saw a lot of speed in practice, and then, of course, winning the pole and qualifying, and now he'll start up front and see if he can keep it up front for his potential first win of the 2023 season. Want to take a look at today's starting grid, brought to you by Cabo Wabo. And up front, as we mentioned, Josh Berry, the 32-year-old out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, got his third pole. It's been the second in the last 3 races, so showing a lot of speed as of recently. And look back in row 4, the 77 driven by Carson Hocevar. He lives about an hour and a half from here. He's from Portage, Michigan, and the 20-year-old making a few starts in the Xfinity Series. Definitely one of the more talented drivers behind the wheel.
Yeah, Rick, so we go to row 6 there. We have to look at Ross Chastain. Always fast, always highly entertaining. See what he can do here against the Xfinity regulars today. And you go down just a little bit. That 9 car, Brandon Jones, really needs a win if he's going to find himself in the playoffs, which are coming up really quickly.
Back here in row 11, you look at Kyle Sieg and Ryan Sieg, 2 brothers. Kyle, the younger of the 2 brothers. And actually, their hauler broke down yesterday before it got here to the track. And so they got here just minutes before practice and qualifying got underway. But impressive performance getting both of those cars in row 11.
Yeah, we go down through here and we see the name Sage Karam. Remember what a great race he ran last week. Looked like it might be that first Xfinity win for him. Today's going to be a lot tougher for him, obviously starting near the back, but experience is what he's looking for here as he tries these 2-mile tracks. It doesn't have a lot of experience, but expected to get a lot of that today.
Experience, a big word as far as what we look at in the Xfinity Series and people trying to get experience, maybe even experiencing their first win. And Kim, could Sheldon Creed experience that today here in Michigan?
Well, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for that team if it's the case. Sheldon Creed holds the last playoff spot, just 22 points to the good after a huge points loss last weekend at Road America. And that point slide, it's been a trend for this team the second half of the season. Crew Chief Jeff Stankiewicz told me they feel like they are on the edge, about to fall because of all the wrecks they've been in, that penalty they got in Nashville. The team said they will be paying close attention to what Riley Herbst and Parker Kligerman are doing over the next 6 races, but he said at the end of the day, if we do our jobs, everything will take care of itself. But it has absolutely been a tale of 2 tapes for RCR, Marty, because his teammate has been on a much different trajectory.
Yeah, Kim, that would be Austin Hill, who is the new regular season championship points leader, but also the old regular season points championship leader. He led earlier in the year. He took that back from John Hunter Nemechek after the race at Road America last week. Talked to his crew chief, Andy Street, this morning. He said, yeah, we have 3 straight top 3 finishes, including a win at Pocono, but we need to get our speed better if we want to go out and win a championship. We have been running up front. We have maximized our days, but we need to show that we have winning speed to be able to win the title when it comes down to Phoenix. That's the top of the standings in the Xfinity Series. Steve, how's that battle been just to make it into the playoffs? That cut line's been interesting to watch.
Well, the cut line is very interesting. What's going to make the challenge even more difficult for the Xfinity Series driver is the champ is back in town.
Sir.
Ty Gibbs Ross is the defending champ of this series, and he's in the race today. Yet to win this season, I know he is hungry to go to victory lane.
Oh, absolutely. And we saw him in qualifying in the Cup car. He was flying, so he's got a lot of confidence. He wants to come and show these guys that the champ is in town. And also, don't forget about Ross Chastain. He's starting in the back, but we know what he's capable of. So you got those two veterans in this field, it's going to mix it up.
DJ said it the best. Ross, entertaining.
Yes.
Entertaining value is going to be high.
Yeah, and that car was the last to fire on pit road, but he's back in line where he's supposed to be. We talked a lot about Austin Hill, and right now being the regular season points leader, let's listen in to the radio communication before we get to green.
Just wanted to holler at you. Y'all have a good day there. Guys, take care up on pit road.
Appreciate it. Well, let's go win this damn thing here. Let's do it.
It's interesting when you hear Richard Childress, that was RC, coming over the radio and giving them a little pep talk before we get the green flag. Take a look at the playoff standings for the Xfinity Series. You have two drivers right now with Austin Hill, John Hunter Nemechek, both with 4 wins. Those two fighting right now for that regular season championship. And then the battle right there on the cut line. Sheldon Creed, Parker Kligerman, they're separated by 22 points, and each position on the racetrack is a point. 2 by 2, they come to the green flag as 2 junior motorsports drivers, Josh Berry, Justin Allgaier, take the green here in Michigan. Multiple lines around this racetrack as we see Allgaier surging ahead as they go through 1 and 2.
Well, I thought Josh Berry had a good enough jump there. He just didn't have any help. Justin Allgaier got a little bit of a push that propelled him on. And, man, I don't think he ever thought about lifting going through turn 1 and 2 to take the lead.
Fight for third right now as Austin Hill in the 21 tries to get by Sam Mayer in the 1. Look how far apart they are as they cross the start-finish line.
Austin's going to slot right back in front of the 16 car after not able to make that pass down the front straightaway. You don't want to enter turn 1 on the bottom. It's a little bit slick. Tough to commit into the corner underneath somebody into turn 1. So if you can get back in line, you try to do that before the corner. Here's some good racing here back in the pack.
Parker Kligerman, Sheldon Creed, those two guys right now fighting along the bubble.
Ross Chastain trying out that resin up high that we talked about in the pre-race. Made a decent corner out of it.
And one thing that we'll talk about a little bit here, but you get a real drafting effect. We talk about speed here, so you can find yourself, you get yourself down the bottom with no help. You find yourself kind of left out, and you feel like that you've lost horsepower, so you just have to utilize that draft and that extra ability that you have with that at your best, in your best chances to try to move forward.
And the side draft is massive as well. DJ down the straightaway, looking to the inside of people or on the outside of people. You get slowed down by the side draft big time. You got to look in the mirror. There's big runs coming behind you when cars are running side by side.
You see this move right here. When you make this move going to the bottom, it feels great when you drive underneath somebody, but where are you going to go? So when you get a little bit of contact, when you get to the corner, can you clear? So the 77 of Hocefer, he knows his job right now is just to stay alongside, because if he does, he's going to beat Sammy Smith down the back straightaway because of this momentum that you build on that outside line.
Carson Hocevar in the 77, just clearing Sammy Smith there in the 18. Now we see Brandon Jones in the 9 with Ryan Sieg in the 39 on his inside. Multiple different lines.
Oh, slide out. The 26.
26 goes around. And so Kaz Grala catches it, but the caution comes out as he makes it into the grass. He was running 18th when he spun.
Caught the grass a little bit with the right front splitter. Hopefully not too much damage there.
You guys kept talking about running the inside versus the outside. Junior mentioned the side draft. The negative of that is this. So when you're underneath somebody, there's no side force on the car. You see the 2 right behind him, that's taking down force off his car, the car on the outside, taking side force off the car. He just lost rear grip and around it went.
Yeah, great job by Jeb Burton right there to avoid hitting the 26 car right there. But, you know, probably more attention's been paid to the Cup cars and the side drafting they do and what effects you have with the inside car versus the outside car, how the air moves. Well, this is just the opposite. The inside car, Jeff, everything you were just saying, takes that downforce away. Downforce, side force, everything is gone, and you're carrying a lot of speed trying to stay in the throttle, but this can happen quicker than you can recover from it.
We see the 31 of Parker Retzlaff right in front of that 26, so he was also taking a little air off the car.
And when Jeb moves up, he's just hoping there's nobody on the outside. He's got to make that move, but he just doesn't know for sure whether there's a car there or not. And you have to take that risk, and so thankful when you can get through there clean.
That's right where we were standing. You didn't drop anything down there, did you?
Yeah, he was in your lane when he spun out.
Let's go to Kim.
And Kaz Gralla showed a lot of surprise on the radio. He said that was unexpected. He said it stepped out on me and there was nothing I could do about it. They do have a right front tire down, it sounds like. They don't think there's any structural damage to the car, but they will come in to change what might be right front and left front.
It looks like the right front's definitely down. They're getting a little bit of damage to the right front fender there. The 24-year-old out of Boston brings out the first caution here at Michigan. Allgaier out front. NASCAR Fan Rewards is free to join. You can earn points all season by doing what you're doing right now. Watching racing, answering trivia, playing fantasy, buying race tickets, and more. Save your points. You can trade them in for free tickets or autographed merchandise. Just visit NASCAR.com/fanrewards. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Cabo Wabo 250 from Michigan International Speedway. Out front, Justin Allgaier, he was able to take the top spot away from Josh Berry on the start of the race. Now we'll see how they do on restarts. All right, guys, is there a preferred line? Do you want to be on the outside or inside for the restart?
I don't want to be on the inside. I think going down into turn one on the bottom, you're at a disadvantage, especially coming off turn two. If you don't clear and take the lead, you're getting beat down the back straightaway, losing multiple spots. So I think the person that starts in third, fifth, sixth, they're in really tough shape. So I want to be on the outside, get the right push, get commitment from behind me, and be able to beat the inside car down into turn one. Just race them down in there and take the line away.
Yeah, I'd be trying to make a deal with somebody to go whichever side that I could go with that I know is going to be given a good push. I think the push is more important than the lane choice, actually. I think that's what helped propel Justin Allgaier there to get by Josh Berry at the start of the race.
Kim, how about the 7 and Allgaier?
Yeah, this team knew they were going to be strong, and when I asked what their goal was this weekend, they said one goal they have is to close the gap to points leader Austin Hill. They said we're 40 points out, and they look at the regular season championship as a very realistic goal. They said they've covered more ground than that in a shorter amount of time. Now, how do you make up those points? You get stage points, you win races. That was on the docket for the team. Spotter Eddie DeHaan just got on the radio and said, Justin, clean air is king. This is how we control the race. Be very aggressive on this restart, Marty.
Kim, it's not a very warm day here in Michigan, but Ross Chastain came directly from Cup Series qualifying to get in the Xfinity Series car, and he wanted to wear his cool shirt from his Cup car, but he went to plug it in, and the cool shirt started leaking everywhere, so it was a last-minute scramble to get Ross another shirt and get rid of the cool shirt, put that on. You see the field leaving pit road with him sitting there. They finally got the window net buttoned up, so not much of a major distraction for Ross Chastain, but the cool suit leaking earlier, so running this race without one here this afternoon, but short race shouldn't be that bad for him.
It is a short race, but these Xfinity cars are hot. I mean, they're actually very hot. It's interesting. It feels like Colleague has had a lot of issues with those cool shirts. We saw it with Chandler Smith from New Hampshire. He had an issue, and then there's been others in the recent past. Makes you wonder what's going on there. Maybe there's not enough voltage to run, enough amperage to run them correctly. I'm not sure, but I know if you're going to have one, you want it to work, because when it's not working, it's actually a lot hotter than if you didn't have it.
Yeah, and I would think that maybe Ross is more concerned about it possibly dehydrating him a little bit more today that would affect him more tomorrow than what actually trying to get through this race. So it's all about the preparation for the whole weekend. But yes, you don't want those issues to start with.
And again, the temperature here, 80 degrees. So read our ride along with the Goodyear onboard of Allgaier. Ross Chastain talked about the temp and that cool shirt. maybe not working the way it was supposed to. So Allgaier is on the outside. He chose the outside line. Josh Berry on the inside. We'll see who gives the best push as Sam Mayer is behind Allgaier and the green flags back out. Making it 3 wide there as Carson Hocevar was trying to get to the inside of the 19. Not enough room, and he falls back a spot.
And so watch the 8 here. He didn't clear. Going to lose a little bit of momentum here. He's going to need help from his teammate. Down the back straightaway, he's going to get it from Sam Mayer.
No help on the inside for Austin Hill, and he falls back to 4th. John Hunter Nemechek in the 20 wasn't going to give the 21.
And Mayer way up the track.
Slid all the way up almost to the wall.
Chandler Smith had his front bumper right underneath the rear bumper, and it just pulled the air off that race car, and up the racetrack he went. Battle for 3rd.
So right there, the 16 almost gets into the back of him, but then Sam, I think, is just loose and not able to commit to the corner. Off a big crash off of turn 2, big hit. The 77, Sammy Smith.
Yeah, 77 of Hocevar and the 18 of Sammy Smith are involved. There's another car that was off on the right side.
Looked like the 20 of Nemechek.
That's what I thought as well. One car got, you know, big hit right there down the back.
That's Sammy Smith in the 18. He begins to roll. Maggio is the other car that was involved.
Nemechek's rolling on the apron around turn 3 and 4. I'm imagining with some flat spotted, if not flat tires. Here's the 77 of Carson Hocevar coming down pit road. So there's the 20.
Big disappointment for Carson Hocevar. Had a good car in practice. Never raced here before in any series. Trucks, ARCA, nothing. This was his first opportunity and out super early. Not going to have a chance to learn a lot.
Saw Ty Gibbs there getting some work done. Let's take another look at what happens.
19's loose, sideways in front of his teammates. And they're off the gas like save it, trying to help him. But they're all packing up behind each other with nowhere to go.
That's a car owner's worst nightmare right there.
Yeah, got 3 of them, all of them right there. Yeah. And it looked like there was actually a little contact possibly there as Ty Gibbs was trying to keep going and they were trying to stay off of it.
There you see the 77 coming by, jumping the left front of Sammy Smith. So the 20 here just spins harmlessly down to the inside. There's a big contact. That's going to bend the rear end housing in that 77. Won't be surprised to see that car go behind the wall.
Crazy 4 races for John Hunter Nemechek. Win at Atlanta, win at New Hampshire, 32nd, 34th, the 2 races after that. I don't know he's got damage here.
Some light contact with the rear bumper of the 19 to the fence, but that doesn't look too bad either, Jeff.
And it didn't look like a lot of contact there for Nemechek. Let's listen into his radio.
Hit from behind? Yep, I know. I saw it. Hi, I'm sorry. I guess it was just a bad aero spot. I don't know. All good.
DJ, you and I did the race. You see the right rears come off Carson Hocevar, so this bad day's gone worse. You and I did the race, the road course race from Road America, and John Hunter Nemechek after the race was very frustrated with teammates. He said, teammates are hurting me. Here's 3 of them making contact, and I don't know how he's going to feel about that, but already some sensitivities to how his teammates racing.
Yeah, and when things aren't going well, it just seems that it's kind of the same people that you're around, and of course they are teammates and all of these cars run good, but the problem with that is have one little incident and then you find yourself in another mess. John Hunter might be the most fortunate one of the 3 here that he doesn't sustain any more damage, just has to put on some tires and come from the back.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did anything wrong there, and to your point, DJ, if you're all going to run great, you're all going to find yourselves around each other and in these situations. Now you can see some frustrations between the 2.
Yeah, but these 2 have had run-ins.
Yeah,
these 2,
yes.
Yeah, Ty Gibbs is not happy with John Hunter. Here it is. They've come off pit road. Here comes Ty Gibbs, and he's letting him know he is not happy. We saw his hand out the window.
When you're pedaling the gas like that, we heard the in-car and could hear him pedaling. He was struggling, and I think the contact came after Ty was already in trouble. Marty?
And John Hunter came on the radio, said, I don't know what he is mad at. So clearly, John Hunter feels like he got contact from behind from the other teammate in this mix at Joe Gibbs Racing, Sammy Smith. And now he does not understand why Ty Gibbs is upset with him.
And Marty, Ty very upset on the radio with John Hunter using some choice words to describe his teammate. Maybe that's misguided. We'll have to wait and find out. But Sammy Smith came on the radio and said, I tried to check up. I did everything I can. So it seems as though both Ty and Sammy may be placing a little of that blame on teammate John Hunter.
Ty Gibbs has to have a little bit longer memory, because if memory serves me correct, he actually had an issue with Brandon Jones, who was his teammate a year ago before they went to Phoenix in the championship there. So teammates maybe bumping into teammates, that's not something that's foreign to the sport. But right now, it was Joe Gibbs Racing all involved in this one, and they collected Carson Hocevar as well.
A seven-nation army couldn't hold me.
NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR is brought to you by Credit One Bank, a credit card company, and by the new movie Gran Turismo, based on a true story, only in theaters August 25th. People having some fun here in the Irish Hills of Michigan at one of many lakes around the area. So we mentioned teammates, maybe bumping teammates on the racetrack. We just saw how Ty Gibbs seemed like he was a little frustrated with John Hunter Nemechek. Well, let's go back to Richmond. A year ago, Ty Gibbs is in the 54. John Hunter Nemechek is in the 18.
Yeah, this is just good hard racing here. Moved him up the racetrack, gets on the inside of him, but things turn for the worse down here in turn 3 and 4.
Ty Gibbs drives in there and says, you know what? My win just does not turn his race car and run his teammate up the racetrack. John Hunter expresses frustration after this race and even during this race.
Yeah, well, these things are going to happen, you know. Again, you have talented drivers, good cars. You're going to find yourself wanting the same real estate sometimes. And you know, the biggest difference there was about 80 miles per hour in the speed as to what happened here today.
Most of these drivers now, because they've had to come in and put on a set of tires, they're now down a set, although we don't know that there's a lot of speed difference between new tires and old tires, but both of those drivers now down one set.
And we see Allgaier and Barry both going to the high line. Hill chooses the low line. And check in with the Peacock pit box. All right, guys, are we seeing teammates maybe roughing each other up a little early in this race?
Well, that's the key. I heard DJ say, you know, there was a big difference in speed, but also a big difference in timing of the race. Lap 11, you're a car owner. It looked like your head was going to explode.
Yeah, I'll be a little bit aggravated with my driver for being that aggressive and running over top of each other at lap 11. But, you know, like I mentioned in the pre-race show, there's a lot of inexperience in this field. And we don't run these 2-mile racetracks in hardly anymore. So these guys are getting used to running at 170, 80, 90 miles an hour around one another. And like DJ was talking about in the pre-race show, the air comes off these cars so uniquely, there's going to be trouble all day long.
I agree. It wasn't egregious moves. It was just not a good spot to be in at lap 11. Leave each other some space. But you mentioned inexperience. Let's remind the fan. We have Sammy Smith at 19 years old, Ty Gibbs at 20 years old, and John Hunter Nemechek, the old man of the group, at 26. So a lot of youth behind the wheel for Joe Gibbs Racing, and youth at this time definitely showed some inexperience.
See a little tape there on the back bumper of the 19 as Ty Gibbs comes back out on track.
One of the things that's unique to Ty running this race is he hasn't ran a lot of the 1.5 mile or larger tracks with the new rules, so that he's missing a lot of skew and lateral grip, side force that he's used to having last year, and so I think that's going to be a bit of a surprise for me today, as it already has been.
2 cautions already, as only 15 laps complete. 30 laps in the first stage, another 30 laps in stage 2, in the final stage of 65 laps. As we get back underway, we'll see if Austin Hill can do anything on the inside. Good push from A.J. Allmendinger on Riley Herbst.
Yes, Ross Chastain in that 10 car.
How about Sam Mayer in the 1? A great run up through the middle.
Yeah, I think Sam's a little embarrassed by getting up the racetrack and losing some spots, trying to work it back, being aggressive on restarts. That outside line so far doing a lot of great work here.
Allmendinger in the 10. That red, white, and blue number 10 went to the inside. Excuse me, Chastain in the 10.
Sam Mayer real tight on the 21 there. It's taking a big risk. Trusting that driver on the inside not to lose the rear grip when you get down there that close. You take away so much side force in the corner.
And look at how far Hill has fallen back. After starting on that front row, the 21, now all the way back to 8.
Yeah, that's just what Junior was talking about before the past restart, was how much you can lose in making that choice to go to the inside. And these drivers are seeming, you know, I talked about the draft earlier, but this is not Daytona and Talladega. I'm seeing a lot of pushing this early on, and like they're at Daytona and Talladega, and that draft is not going, and that push is not going to affect you, but it is going to a lot more here.
What does Sam Mayer do here? Side by side down the front straightaway. He's not going to be able to make the pass. Going to be in a tough spot on the inside to turn 1.
Yeah, so what he's trying to do, he's trying to get away from that 16 car when he enters the corner. That is indeed helping him from an aerodynamic standpoint, but it's hurting him from an angle of attack standpoint. He enters so low that he can't carry the speed that he needs to through the corner, and now the 21 of Hill taking advantage of it.
All those spots that he gained on the restart now, losing those spots. 3 wide in the middle. Not going to be comfortable there as you see him getting passed by both cars.
And a caution coming out once again.
Have to imagine must be some debris somewhere on the racetrack. Oh, the 08 car who was in the wreck earlier.
Yeah, Mason
had some
Maggio.
sort of an issue, a right front tire failure or whatever. He's got some contact hard with the right side of that race car.
So the 19-year-old out of Palm Beach Garden, Florida, Mason Maggio, will be attended to by the AMR safety crew.
When the net comes down. These are hard hits. Big racetrack, running really, really fast here. Any kind of tire issue or anything that gets you up into the fence is not going to be comfortable. But here's a replay. He's just got a right front tire down. And even he's off pace, well behind the, well behind the field, and that wasn't full speed into turn 1, and that's the kind of hit that you have with no right front tire on the car. So luckily he's got out of the car, and AMR guys are going to take care of him, get him back to the infield care center, get checked out.
Yeah, which there's another driver that was already there, Sammy Smith, and Kim was with him.
Yeah, he's been checked and released. He got tangled up with his teammates out of the race. Sammy, what happened, and was there somebody at fault there?
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like John Hunter got tied loose, and when John Hunter went left, I was right there, and Ty was aimed right at me, so I needed to go left, and I guess when I went left, the 77 was there. So I don't know. It's a tough deal. It's frustrating for sure. Everyone at Pilot Flying J, TMT, Allstate, Peterbilt Group, Toyota, JGR. I thought we had a fast car today. Just been a tough couple weeks.
Is there frustration with teammates, or is everything okay?
I mean, it looked like John Hunter was maybe being a little aggressive there on Ty. I'm not going to point fingers. I don't really have the right to do that, but it's just part of it, I guess.
That is Sammy Smith.
Maybe a little aggressive early between the drivers. So Sammy Smith checked and released from the infield care center. You see John Hunter Nemechek back on pit road. Marty.
Rick, remember Jeff said a moment ago that John Hunter Nemechek, because of that spin, is down a set of tires to the rest of the field like everybody else who was in that spin. So they just topped off here, and with the fuel mileage teams are getting, this should be able to get them to the end of stage 2. So expect them to stay out at the stage break coming up in 10 laps.
So early on, 20 laps into this race, and already 3 cautions.
Yeah, that's really a good play. I mean, they've got to earn back a set of tires, and so they're going to try to stay out there and not take that set when the rest of the field comes down pit road. They'll be behind on tires just a little bit in this next stage, but I think they got a competitive enough car to survive that.
It'll be less than 10 laps remaining in stage 1 as you see the 08 of Mason Maggio being pulled back into the garage after that hard hit in turns 1 and 2. NFL season kicks off September 7th when the Detroit Lions visit the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. It's the NFL season opener only on NBC and Peacock. We We look down on Ford Field, the home of the Detroit Lions. Again, that opening game will be at Kauffman Stadium for the Kansas City Chiefs. But we're just down the road from Detroit as this Michigan International Speedway sits out here, 2-mile racetrack. You're watching NASCAR Xfinity Series Cabo Wabo 250. And once again, 2x2. Allgaier and Berry look to be working together again. Cole Custer running up there in the front row. Marty.
Rick, we've really seen Austin Hill scrapping on these restarts especially, but is there a handling issue on the 21? Listen in.
I seem to be able to throttle up and make up some time on exit right now, so I definitely think we're a lot better on entry security. I'll just have to let you know where it goes with the front end. I'm just not sure what this chatter is all about because I didn't have that in practice or anything.
What he's talking about, Jeff, is shattering the fronts really bad, especially early in the run. Kind of caught him off guard. So what does that mean when you're shattering the front tires in the middle of the corner?
Well, what the driver feels is the tires actually shaking. They actually vibrate, and the car actually bounces up and down. And when it's doing that, the car is never going to turn. So there's never been a car that's chattering the front tires that's turning the way it wants to turn. The car is too tight. If you chatter the rear tires, the car is way too loose. So that puts him at a deficit trying to advance on these restarts.
And you're probably, in practice, he didn't have other cars in front of him. Now he's been kind of mired back here. Is that air affecting that?
Terribly. Everything in dirty air is worse. So if you have any kind of issue, it's going to compound the further back in the field you get.
Back to the restart zone they go. Allgaier again on the outside. Cole Custer on the inside. He's got Austin Hill behind him in the 21. We'll see what kind of push he gets. Looks pretty good as they go into turn number 1 now. Can that 00 clear the 7? No, the 7 of Allgaier flies by on the outside.
00 really loose right here. Cole Custer up the racetrack, finally to the outside groove.
Custer started 13th, and DJ, he did a great job of getting himself back in that position. Now getting a major push from Chandler Smith.
Yeah, maybe more push than he actually wanted down into turn 3 right there. And you can see these drivers, we've had 3 cautions in the first 20 laps. That's never happened here at Michigan, but they don't seem to be affected by this with the moves that we see them making on this restart. We know that's when they know they can make time, but you have to be smart too and realize that a lot of racing to go.
Pretty aggressive on the restarts as we see Austin Hill has been shuffled back there to the outside of Sam Mayer.
Sam again restart on the inside, just struggling to make that bottom work. And try to find his way in line, but cannot do it. Ryan Sieg to the outside now in the 39 car.
And he's just the opposite. He started 4th, and he's going the wrong way. But there's a hole right here. He needs to just give this spot up, get himself back in this hole. He decides not to do it. Can he clear that 10 car?
A little bit of side drafting there by Mayer. We'll see if it works out for him. But here comes Ryan Sieg to his outside. And Jeff Burton.
Jeff, to your point, right there, you saw him in a position where he could have fell in behind the 10. He decided not to do it. It's a net wash on gaining the position and losing one to Sieg.
It could have been a net gain. And you know, when the 39 got by him, he just would have been better off down the straightaway just to get in front and say, hey, I got this one spot. Now let's go fight for the next one. One pass at a time.
Yeah, you could realize who's in that car, and that's Ross Chastain in that 10 car. He's got speed. You can push him, and then you're back up to where you can catch these first 5 or 6 cars that are in front of you, and you don't have that deficit, and you've got another spot.
Anthony Alfredo in the 78 makes an aggressive move to the inside of Ross Chastain, trying to take that spot away. Slides up the racetrack in front of him.
You see how these cars slide around. I mean, nobody's comfortable with their cars. A lot of movement with the back. Brandon Jones now tries to drive in the corner. Try to beat 21 on speed on entry. He does it. He's able to slide up in front of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to see is some drivers, and Ross Chastain was the first one, and you saw it right there with Austin Hill, that they're having problem getting into the corner fast enough. They're having to come out of the throttle, and these guys that maybe have a little tighter car are taking advantage of that, staying in the throttle and making the pass.
Pretty impressed with Brandon so far in this race, starting 14th in that 9 car, all the way up to 6th now. This battle back here continues, and there's the 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars. 7th place Austin Hill as well. they're getting runs on each other, but it's, again, a decision of, is this run big enough to be able to try to make the pass, or is it going to cost me positions from behind? It's a tough call to make just about every single lap around this racetrack, Marty.
Yeah, Dale Jr., as you look at the tight racing further back in the field, Parker Kligerman trying to get another spot. I, too, impressed with Brandon Jones up to the 6th position. And when I talked to him earlier this morning, he really targeted this race, Kansas and Darlington, all in the regular season for the Xfinity Series to get a win. And he made no bones about it to me. We're going to need a win to be able to get in the playoffs, trying to get into the top 5. Nice run for Brandon Jones so far.
Brandon Jones coming into this race 14th as we're just under 2 laps to go in stage 1.
So this is what we talked about. He got that run, turned to go underneath him, and he's not going to clear him. And so now look what happens. They all see it. They all pile up on the outside of him. And now you've lost forward momentum. And now they're just slinging around you. Unless they make a mistake, it's almost impossible for you to keep this spot.
Final lap of stage 1, and it's been chaotic. As we see Chandler Smith in the 16 just in front of Riley Herbst in the 98. But Allgaier with a 3-second lead over Josh Berry is going to claim the stage win, and that will be 5 stages. The last 5 stages have all been won by Junior Motorsports drivers. Josh Berry second, Cole Custer third in that stage. Chandler Smith, Riley Herbst the top 5. Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer, and Anthony Alfredo rounding out the top 10. Great flyover to kick things off here, and then 3 cautions in stage 1 to get us underway. But it was Allgaier winning the stage. NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Cabo Wabo Tequila. Bringing bold taste to Michigan International Speedway. Drink responsibly. Such a beautiful area here around Brooklyn, Michigan, and Michigan International Raceway. There's Jerry's Pub and Restaurant located on Wampler's Lake.
It's a great place.
It is a wonderful place. 780 acres of Wampler's Lake. The deepest part of that lake, 39 feet.
Had a little lunch at Jerry's on Thursday. Very good.
They were very generous, welcoming as we came in with our crew. And we see now all lined up, getting ready to come to pit road after stage 1 is complete. Allgaier with Berry right behind him again. Thanks to Goodyear for this onboard shots of Justin Allgaier as they come onto pit road. They come in front of Kim.
You see Justin Allgaier, top of your screen. He said good in 1 and 2, just a little bit tight in 3 and 4. Overall, the balance good, but he said clean air is absolutely saving me here. They do take an air pressure adjustment on those 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Sunoco fuel going in. Josh Berry saying a 6 out of 10 tight on that machine. Also has a slight vibration as they finish up service, Marty.
13 to 3rd for Cole Custer, who said we're in the mix. Let's keep ourselves in the game here. He said that setup was really good through traffic, but it's really a little bit too tight. When I get out front in clean air, you see other cars flash by. Custer leaves his stall, losing a couple of spots here on pit road.
And some tire strategy taking place as we saw Sheldon Creed gain 16 spots. Josh Williams may have missed his pit stall, and that's why he gained 21. We saw Burton was turned around the wrong direction.
Not sure exactly how that happened. Don't see a lot of contact or damage to the car, but he may have actually almost passed his stall, missed his stall, and locked the rear brakes up, spinning out, trying to get there.
He was running 14th. Fortunately, always nervous. It's always nervous for me. You see a car backwards on pit road with all those crew members down there. Fortunately, no contact with anyone.
See the damn sign.
There you go.
Couldn't see the sign. So yes, almost drove past the pit stall, slammed on the brakes, rear tire start hopping, spun him out.
Well, pit stall number 42 is occupied with the Peacock pit box, and down there, let's talk continuity, guys. What do you think about the way that stage 1 went? Didn't seem like there was any continuity.
Continuity doesn't exist here at Michigan yet in the Xfinity Series race. So, Brad, you know, I don't know how it was in basketball, but I'll tell you as a crew chief, some races you settle right in, you get a nice run, you understand what your car needs, you make good adjustments. In a race where we're only going to see 3 pit stops, I think having that broken up stage 1 makes making your car better very difficult.
Yeah, I think it does. It really does. And also, you know, we have the cautions early, which we just didn't anticipate. So because guys were trying to fill themselves out and try to figure out how to get around this racetrack. So now that plays into, now the clock is ticking. This is a short race by our race standards. And you're exactly right. The pressure starts to build. And like Rick's talking about, the continuity is just not there. But I think this next stage we'll see guys settle down just a little bit and start seeing some better, longer runs.
So you mentioned short race. I've heard it 3 or 4 times already today. Is that what we're seeing early? Do the drivers feel like this race is shorter than maybe it really
100%.
is?
They absolutely. Everybody talks about that when we come here. So the drivers do. They think it's a little shorter than possibly it is. So there's no give and take, none whatsoever. Everybody's trying to take every inch of the racetrack, and they don't get settled in. I think we'll sit in this second stage, though.
Yeah, and I think the challenge, guys, for someone like the 19 of Ty Gibbs or the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek is that set of tires that's missing is going to not only put them a little bit behind on strategy, but it's just going to take that one adjustment away. So I think they'll recover and be fine. I do. But are they going to be good enough to outrun Josh Berry or Justin Allgaier, or one of these cars that continue to work on their car each and every pit stop? It's going to be interesting. And this restart with old tires up front, while they're not very old, 20-lap tires are going to have less grip, Ken. It's going to be interesting to see how this restart goes.
And Steve, talking tires, Sheldon Creed only took 2 tires, and that was strictly a strategy call by Jeff Stankiewicz. When I talked with him this morning, he said, we have to start being aggressive in our calls. We have to start doing things differently. We're at the cusp of losing our spot in the playoff picture. So, again, a very aggressive strategy call for Sheldon Creed. We'll see how he fares with 2 tires. They gained 16 positions with that call on pit road, Marty.
Kim, as predicted, John Hunter Nemechek decided to stay out. The men's second in the regular season championship standings. Just checked in with Ben Bayshore, his crew chief. He said, I think grip-wise, we should be fine, I hope, with those 20-lap older tires. The interesting thing, though, how will the teammates race each other? So John Hunter chooses outside. He'll push his teammate Ty Gibbs into turn 1 on this restart. We'll see if the Gibbs cars can keep it up front and get back on the same strategy with everybody else in the field.
Marty, I want to remind everyone about the stage points that the top 10 drivers earn at the end of each stage. And so stage 1 points allocated. Allgaier got 10 for winning the stage, all the way down to Anthony Alfredo getting 1 point for finishing in the 10th position.
All right, so you heard Steve Letarte mention old tires in the front. So let's kind of reset the field. We know the 19, the 20, the 26, Skral and Nemechek, Gibbs, they all got in that incident. They spun, they put tires on, they have stayed out. Now they're essentially that whole outside row, the top 3 rows, that's them. Then below them, Sheldon Creed, you just heard Kim say he put on only 2 tires. Then the 98, the 00, everybody else has 4 tires. That 92 of Josh Williams, he did no tires. So a ton of different tire strategies at the front. Marty.
And Jeff, add to that mix a missing person from the front. Ross Chastain had a hole in the nose in the 10 car for Calling Racing. They came down pit road just now. He is catching up to the back of the field. They feel like they got that hole patched correctly. So Ross Chastain will be in the very back for this restart, restarting 35th. He should be fun to watch.
Catches up to the pack with speed as they come into the restart zone. And again, it was drivers that stayed out. Ty Gibbs, Sheldon Creed, making up row 1 as they dive into turn 1. Four cautions in stage 1, and to compare that to a year ago, there was 4 cautions in the whole race. Gibbs is going to slot in front of Sheldon Creed. He dives in just behind him, and then John Hunter Nemechek running in that 3rd spot. Two, 3, and 4 wide back here.
Contact with the 9 of Brandon Jones and Josh Williams. Josh Williams kind of going back through the field here on the older tires.
You see that 92 of Josh Williams falling back quickly. Big wiggle there out of Parker.
Parker gets a little bit loose there. Everybody cutting him a break.
Kligerman in that orange and white 48 up against the wall. Multiple lines of racing here at Michigan, and we see them all over the racetrack. Watch that 48 move up the racetrack right there.
It got pretty loose right there.
Yeah, that doesn't look nearly as big on TV as what it does when you're sitting inside the cars, and how much the back end steps out in a situation like that. That's really nice.
Early caution.
Down in turn 1 and 2, we got some cars in trouble.
Connor Mozak in the 24, a lot of damage to the right side. That one more than likely got up into the wall.
Doesn't look like he's actually had any contact with the wall.
Maybe just
with
the tire blown out.
Car. Yeah, I think he's had some contact with some other race cars. Not quite sure. I think he cleared himself across the nose of somebody, get down into turn 1 and turned himself into the fence nose first. So somebody's riding around here with a little damage, probably to the left front of their car. To take a look. Back in the back here, he's getting turned out right there off of, can't tell who that is, but might have been Kyle Sieg, I'm not sure, but anyways, clearing yourself into turn 1 down the front straightaway at that high rate of speed is going to create tons of problems for you and everybody else around.
Connor Mozak with an extensive amount of damage to the left front, or right front, and right rear. And a good possibility that Kyle Sieg and that 28 may have some damage as well.
It was either Kyle or maybe Graf in the 38. Let's take a look. But there's definitely going to be a little damage to the left front of the car that was on the right side of the 24 here.
And so the start of this race, from the very beginning, it has been run a few laps, green, and then caution comes out with spins. No consistency yet. Great history here at Michigan International Raceway, though. Open wheel racing, stock car racing. History of racing in Michigan very deep, just outside of the backyard of the manufacturers. Tomorrow on NBC and Peacock, NTT IndyCar Series racing on the streets of Nashville. That coverage begins at noon Eastern. Alex Below enters the weekend 80 points ahead of the Indy 500 champ Joseph Newgarden. Just 5 races remaining in the season. Take a look at our Toyota driver updates as Gibbs running up front. John Hunter Nemechek second. And yes, that was how they were running when the issue happened earlier in the race. Kaz Grala, Mozak, and Sammy Smith. See the positions they were in. So this is what brought out the most recent caution with Connor Mozak. Joe Graf Jr. is the 38 behind him.
It's hard to tell what started that. See the damage on the 38.
Field 2x2 as you see Connor Mozak climbing out of the 24. Riley Herbst is on the inside, and Ty Gibbs on that outside line with John Hunter Nemechek behind him. Cole Custer is behind Herbst as they go back up through the gears. Pretty good shove from John Hunter Nemechek to the 19 of Gibbs, and both of them will clear Riley Herbst.
Big loose moment for the 8 car, Josh Berry. So he tries to gather it all back up.
Brandon Jones in the 9 taking advantage of them slowing down on the track. Now side-by-side battle there for second as Herbst will slide up behind John Hunter Nemechek.
So remember, Riley Herbst has 4 tires. Cole Custer has 4 tires. These 2 guys in front, much older tires. Let's see if there's any difference. Now, I will say this, there were a lot of caution laps on these tires, so it may not be a big difference.
Junior Motorsports drivers riding nose to tail here with Allgaier and Mayer.
Gibbs trying to break the draft down the back straightaway.
Yeah, really interested here to see Justin Allgaier, who dominated that stage 1. Had a 3-second lead at the end of that. How can he maneuver around this traffic? What kind of moves is he able to make? Can he utilize the inside and make some passes?
Just ride along with him, DJ. See what he's trying to do. These passes are difficult. We've talked about it. You know, you want to get on the, you actually want to get on the outside of somebody, Kim, but they're not going to give you that spot that easily.
And a much harder position, Justin, being in the 5th place versus out front. He talked about early in the race how good clean air was for that race car. And we've seen how aggressive drivers have gotten just in the 44 laps we've completed. Well, they might bring it up a notch even more. Take a listen to the radio of Allgaier.
Add a little drama to your situation. We got some weather coming in. You might be racing to the stage end. I'll let you know. We're working on time.
So all those drivers, including Justin Allgaier, being made aware of that radar and the fact that we could be racing to the end of stage 2. So drivers might be taking it up a notch.
Weather forecast for the area didn't show any precipitation for Saturday. They had hinted that the possibility existed on Sunday, but this cell looks like it popped up a couple hours ago, and next thing you know, it's coming into potentially the strategy of how these guys are going to run this race.
It looked like they told some of those drivers that in stage 1, the way that they were going about things.
We see Brett Moffitt in the 25 to the inside of Parker Kligerman.
Parker's been in the middle of something this whole race. This car, he's a really, really solid race car driver. Just like his car just doesn't have quite enough speed, and he has to work so hard to gain anything around this racetrack.
You see where Kligerman right now 25 points behind Creed as they run on the track. There's Sheldon Creed about to get passed by the 9 of Brandon Jones.
Sheldon put on 2 tires. That's not been an advantage.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that make that car a little bit tighter. If you're lacking a little front grip, Jeff, putting on 2 tires to cycle the car even tighter, make it tougher to get the car turned in the middle of the corner.
See him spreading out a little bit now as they chase after the 19 of Ty Gibbs. John Hunter Nemechek running in that 2nd spot. Ty Gibbs, the only driver in the field with a win here. There's been 12 different winners here at Michigan the last 12 races. Morning.
Rick, did you notice the grill of the 20 car of John Hunter Nemechek? A little white piece of paper right there on the grill. Dale Jr., why does it always seem like at Michigan, other places like Fontana, these 2-mile racetracks, debris is always a problem? And how frustrating must that be for John Hunter Nemechek? He needs to get off. They finally have themselves in a position to play the game with everybody else today, and now he's got this debris, and the temperatures are shooting up.
Yeah, that's a pretty small piece. I'm not sure. I'd like to know exactly where his temperatures are. I don't know if he'll have a problem with that or not, but if the temperatures do get up to where he's bothered by it, I think that he's going to have a hard time catching up with the lead car to be able to get close enough to change the pressure, air pressure on the nose to get that piece to go away.
Junior, sometimes you guys like if a piece of paper gets on the front of your car, maybe gives you a little added downforce.
It's absolutely going to add downforce to the car, going to make you a lot faster, going to make the car go through the middle of the corner quicker. It's going to turn better. But if he sees the temperatures go up, he needs to get closer and closer and closer, much closer than this, to the 19. You see it move that paper around? Now it looks like it's even in a worse spot.
When if they were really concerned about it, DJ, they would just tell Gibbs in that 19 car, hey, back up a little bit down the straightaway, let him get right to that rear bumper, and that will allow that piece of paper to come off of it because it changes the pressure behind the car.
I don't know if they're friendly enough to want to do each other any favors. I agree with you 100%.
Well, they do have a boss.
We look back from the Toyota onboard, and it doesn't look like Gibbs is going to back off at all to help out John Hunter Nemechek with that little piece of paper that's on the front that goes in to cool the engine. Gibbs out front here at Michigan. 10 to go.
Ma, are you sure you don't want to go bowling with us tonight?
Yeah, no.
There's my little marzipan. Oh,
Oh, my daughter gives the best hugs.
We're just passing through on our way to the Jazz Jamboree. And we wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money. Mara, your parents are
exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
With Wendy's BOGO dollar deal, your dollar never tasted so good. So everyone's gonna get
Spicy chicken sandwich and a nugs.
I was gonna say a Frosty and a Frosty.
You can do that?
I don't know, Willie's really smart.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women. We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again? Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Why wait until November when Black Friday deals are going on now at Ashley? Take advantage of low monthly payments with 0% interest through July 2028, in-store only. Plus, shop doorbusters starting at just $2.99. Shop and save today, only at Ashley.
It's orientation day. Welcome to the team.
The race.
I like this team. Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
There's a thin line in the NASCAR Xfinity Series between winning and losing, between being the future and being past, between headlines and tailspins, between making history and being it, between the sweet taste of victory and the fumes of defeat. In the NASCAR Xfinity Series, there's a thin line between being a name they know and being a name they'll never forget.
New leader in Michigan as we see the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek make the pass on the high side. He went around the 19 of Ty Gibbs, and now Riley Herbst is under fire from the 7 of Justin Allgaier, who went to the bottom of the racetrack.
Justin won't be able to clear, though, so down this straightaway, Justin's probably going to have to fall back in line behind the 98. Got a lot of cars coming from behind. Sam Mayer leading that little train. Sam's going to dive to the inside. Got to go down there and commit. Almost a slide job move to be able to take the spot away.
Oh, he's sliding all right. Mayer, he catches it.
Yeah, he just gets loose down there. Costs all this momentum, losing all these spots here now.
That was a huge slide right there. Great save.
I think that's that confidence that he talked about coming here, feeling like he's 15 pounds lighter now, having that first win. He can go out there and take these chances. He was taking a lot of chances before that first win, but he's going for it. Cost him a few spots. He'll have to work to get them back.
00 got by on the outside, and the 21 got by on the inside. So Sam Mayer will have to fight his way back, but only 4 laps to go in stage 2.
They broke up the lead pack just a little bit, as you see the 19 in second. Herbst in the 98 in third, as we're looking back at him now on the Toyota camera.
Riley Herbst finished 5th in that first stage, got 6 points. The guy he's racing, or one of the guys he's racing, as he goes to the bottom, can't quite get there. Parker Kligerman got no points.
Big
Once
run.
again, the 98 sitting there in position, but here comes Allgaier trying to take it.
Big run by Allgaier. He goes all the way down to the apron, and that is fair game here at Michigan.
Herbst slows him down on the side draft. Allgaier's going to commit down. He can come up the racetrack, though, in front of him. Sends him up into the top groove. Herbst still up there in the grip.
Almost slid in front of Riley Herbst, but now that momentum not on the side of Allgaier as he falls back. And here comes Austin Hill in the 21. Cole Custer as well. Now Allgaier uses that lower line to get in front of Austin Hill just barely. We'll see if Austin Hill gets to his back bumper.
He's going to have a huge run down this straightaway.
Pretty aggressive move by Allgaier right there.
Yeah, it really was. A lot of experience in making that move and trusting his abilities to do that, but got himself in a position to where he didn't lose any points there. spots, which translates into points here in just a couple of laps.
Under 2 laps to go. Nemechek out front by 1.4 seconds. Gibbs right here in front of this line.
Yeah, Ty is holding this group up. He's just not as fast. And Herbst wants to try to find a way around. Here comes Allgaier. He's tired of waiting. He's going to drive all the way to the inside and actually clear the 19 car.
What a move.
Takes 2, and Allgaier with 1 lap to go in stage 2 moves all the way up to second.
See Riley, he's afraid to make that move. He's afraid it's not going to work out. He wants to get on the outside.
Remember, a little older tires on the 19 of Ty Gibbs.
Oh, Riley.
They get checked up here, Jeff, off the corner. The 21's got a big run here. It's going to go to the inside, the 98 down the back straightaway. Side draft here, have a lot of momentum into turn 3. And again, on the bottom of the racetrack, can he clear the 98?
Hill goes down there, and will he slide up in front of him?
He's going to be beside the 19 off the corner.
The win, though, in stage 2 goes to John Hunter Nemechek. Allgaier is second. Side by side for positions. Ty Gibbs, Riley Herbst, Austin Hill coming across the line. It was Cole Custer, Josh Berry, Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, and Brett Moffitt all earning some points in stage 2. So the caution has come out once again, the 6th caution of the day. This stage a little cleaner as it was of racing as Nemechek gets the win in stage 2. Get more into the races with NASCAR Fantasy Live. To compete, all you have to do is create an entry by picking 5 drivers and then add a garage driver. You can keep tabs on your lineup, and you can even make in-race adjustments to maximize your score before the end of stage 2. Visit NASCAR.com/fantasy to play. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Cabo Wabo 250. Good crowd here on hand in Brooklyn, Michigan. And we were listening into Allgaier's radio. Here was communication on that rain we've talked about.
Another thing it does is it dissipates as it gets here, so it's hard to tell right now. Is it coming from the west and trying to go around for that lake? I mean, yeah, directly from the west. Yeah, copy. They tend to break up over the lake, so unless it's coming like northeast, we're probably okay.
So we've got the stamp of approval from the 7 team that will be okay for this one. Now the field making their way back onto pit road, and it looks like tires are not going to be an issue as far as everybody back on an equal field. Kim?
Oh, and you see Justin Allgaier getting a tap from another car spinning onto pit road. That is absolutely going to be devastating for that team. Justin had said it was way too free. They were looking to make an adjustment. This is going to totally change the complexion of their pit stop in their race. And you see Ty Gibbs in the middle there. He said it was tight through the center and all the way off the corner as Justin finally gets in his box and the crew could start service, Marty.
An impressive 360 there for Justin Allgaier. I think if you had told John Hunter Nemechek and Ben Bayshore they would win stage 2 after they spun on lap 11, they would have taken that. He said the car is pretty good, just need a little bit more turn late in the run, and they hold serve here on pit road. John Hunter Nemechek, Joe Gibbs out front after coming in with a lead as well, Rick.
Yeah, you see the race off of pit road. Nemechek holding on to that top spot, and a couple guys gaining positions, but the biggest loser in this one has to be the 7 of Allgaier. Take a look, the 19 of Ty Gibbs. Does he catch him? Sure enough. Tags the back of the 7. It slides him around, and the longest pit stop of the day by Allgaier. Next Saturday on USA, the Xfinity Series. Back to road course racing. This one at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That coverage beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern. A big part of the big doubleheader at the Brickyard with IndyCar there as well. So the 7 of Allgaier comes in second. Take a look at the gap between the 20 and the 7, and then also the gap between the 19.
Yeah, the 7 starts to turn down to get into his pits, and Ty just doesn't recognize he's going to start slowing down and gets into the back of him. Here you go. See, he's starting to turn.
Well, look at the gap between the 20 and the 7. I mean, the 7 has an early stall, and I don't know that Ty knows where the 7 stall is, right? He probably has no clue. He only knows where his stall is, and he just runs through the 7. You know, like right there. Like, he can move right. He could cut the 7 a break. He doesn't do that. Doesn't have to do that.
Well, you wonder, too, Junior, if he's just looking down at his tack, right? So there is the only way you know how fast you're going is to maximize your speed on pit road is to be looking at your tach. So if you're looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up, and the guy in front of you slows down unexpectedly, boom, there you are into the back of him. Let's listen to Justin.
Yeah, we'll chalk it up to his teammates leading the race right now, and he needed to free some points because he knows we're gaining on him, so that's all right. We'll remember it. It's all good. We'll make it when I blow his doors off here in a few laps. It'll make it that much sweeter.
All right. Steve, Brad, you guys have a pretty good seat for what's going on when they come onto pit road.
Well, it's a good thing the 7 was a pit inning earlier. He ended up in our box off the nose of the 19. Brad, I'm going to take a different approach.
Okay.
I'm ready for somebody to start holding drivers responsible for what happens on pit road from a safety standpoint. I was one of these guys who used to jump over pit road, and I'm not okay with simple contact and a car going backwards like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is dangerous. And, you know, it was just a misjudgment, obviously, by Ty Gibbs. But, man, you got to give each other a little bit of a break. I do agree, though. I think he was looking probably at his tach, looking down, and just misjudged it.
I agree. I think it's misjudgment, but I think if there was a bigger penalty or a bigger risk, they would perhaps be a little bit safer.
So there are the points today as far as how everyone finished in the stage. Allgaier getting 19 points, so that's going to help him. But he is also restarting deeper in the field, all the way back at 31st as the green flag comes back out, and stage 3 is underway. Riley Herb shoving the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek up into turn 1. Austin Hill trying to hang on to second. Pretty good run by Josh Berry in the 8 on the outside. Cole Custer falls back in line in 5th, just in front of Brandon Jones. Junior Motorsports were looking good at the end of stage 2. All 4 cars inside the top 10, and then with Allgaier's issue on pit road, that puts him back out of the top 10.
You can see Allgaier in that orange car toward the back middle of this pack. He keeps trying to jump up on the outside. He knows he's faster. See right here, he's way higher than everybody else. This is the goal. Get alongside the 39 to C. Get along in the 78. You hope they know you're coming, but they don't. They pull up in front of you. But that's how you get back to the front. Get a little risky, DJ, and keep widening that groove out.
Yeah, you widen the groove. You just have to be careful of realizing who you're racing around here, not guys that you're used to racing around and trying to make too much happen too soon.
Saw Anthony Alfredo in the 78 slide up the racetrack just a bit, so Allgaier decided to go to his inside. Couldn't complete the pass, though.
Got to try to get everything you can on the restarts and during these laps where everybody's sort of in dirty air, in traffic. Going to the bottom is going to be tough to try to keep any momentum going up down this back straightaway.
Yeah, even as fast as his car is, you can't clear anybody. So now he's got Jeb Burton in that 27 car. He's also on the bottom. Justin needs clean air. See a pass right here.
Yeah, I think he has a fast enough car that he can try this for a couple more corners than a lot of other guys who don't have the speed in their cars that Justin Allgaier does with this 7 car.
See the 26 of Kaz Gralla on the inside there. Going a lap down as the leaders all go around on the outside. And Austin Hill running in 2nd place. Hadn't seen a lot of speed, not this kind of speed out of the RCR cars early in the race, but right here in position, putting the pressure on the leader, Nemechek. He's right at his back door. So we see the battle of the 9 car, Brandon Jones, and Cole Custer down into turn 3. But you see back there on the left side of the screen, there's your leader, and Austin Hill with some momentum down the front straightaway. The 20's going to try to break the draft. Austin don't care. He ran the top. He's already got the momentum down the straightaway. He's going to stay up there.
A lot of momentum on the side of the 21 with Riley Herbst behind him. But John Hunter Nemechek has been running good laps back to back and has been able to keep that gap about 2 or 3 car lengths in between 1st and 2nd.
See this battle here, Ty Gibbs. He looks really loose to me on restarts. Right when they drop the green flag, takes a little while for this car to get going. Able to get by Custer. Custer struggling in that 0-0.
The battle continues for Cole Custer, who restarted 4th, about to lose the 8th position. Back there, actually sitting in 8th now as the 1 goes by him, battling it out there. So he said the car just just takes way too long to come in for Cole Custer. They're very good at the end of the run, but he gives up so much time on the beginning of the run, and that's what you're seeing right here as that battle continues with the 1 car for that 7th spot.
A lot of laps still to go as Sam Mayer still in front of the 00, Cole Custer. Again, those guys fighting for the 7th and 8th spot. Again, Kaz Grala in the 26 here is a lap down.
This is Allgaier trying to get around the 16 car for 12th. He's up 17 positions, making that bottom work. Not a lot of cars have been able to go down there and make speed, but his car's just so good. And he's spread out. And he's mad.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're mad, that's another 10. You can get your driver fired up.
Look at Custer. He drove underneath Gibbs, and he just said, I'm not letting you get on the outside of me. If you're going to pass me, you can try it on the inside. But he just drove in there and went to the right and said, you're not getting on the outside of me. Now Sam Mayer trying to get underneath him.
Yeah, Gibbs is going to clear. Sam's going to side draft the 00, try to take a spot as well. And this is the lap before, same thing. The 1 and the 00 side by side down into 1. Sam's not going to get that position again. Learned a lot of hard lessons.
Yeah, watch Allgaier, that orange car. He's fun to watch. He's going to just drive down here, go all the way to the line, just get the throttle as soon as he can. He knows he's clear. Go ahead and get in behind this 10 car. Don't let the 2 get back on the outside if you can.
And you guys heard the frustration from Justin on the radio after that incident on pit road with Ty Gibbs. What you didn't hear is the team telling him, giving him confidence in his race car. They told him, you have the best car out here. We can drive through this traffic. Eddie DeHaan, the spotter, on the radio just telling him one by one which car he needs to pick up, what these cars in front of him, what lines they're using. But they absolutely think it is still a race they can win with 51 to go here at Michigan.
Well, maybe frustration is a good fuel for Allgaier because he was frustrated, said he was going to be able to drive back up here, and already he's running 9th, and there's only 2 cars between him and Ty Gibbs on the racetrack.
Ty and Cole Custer still battling right here behind Kaz Grala. Kaz Grala is a lap down, but has good speed, and he's sort of got these guys checked up a little bit in dirty air.
All the way down to the yellow line for Allgaier.
He could try that, DJ, because there was no pressure from behind.
Right.
So you can go and work on the bottom. If it doesn't work, no harm, no foul, because nobody is close enough to try to jump on the outside.
You know, we've all had cars that were this good that Justin Allgaier is sitting in here right now. It's a lot of fun when you can do things that others just can't, as we see Cole Custer here once again trying to make that pass. But it just allows you to be able to take some chances that, you know, others can't. They're just strictly having to do basically one thing and one thing only, and you have options.
Allgaier now trying to get by Sam Mayer. They're door to door.
Yeah, it's going to get tougher as you get closer to the front to try to make these passes, and you have to be a little more calculative of where to make the pass, right? How to get the run in the side draft to make it work for you.
Is Ty Gibbs, spotter, telling him Allgaier's 2 back?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, there's Allgaier already said, look, I'm just going to go blow his doors off. He's not going to go up there and try to drive through the 19 car. I don't think that's his style. And I don't think the 19 has any. He's raced Justin long enough to know that he doesn't have anything physical coming when if that 7 car actually gets back to him. Kaz Grala is going to move low here.
Yeah, if Justin Allgaier, sorry, Rick, if Justin Allgaier has any beef or wants any payback, it won't come today. He's got the best car here. There's no reason to take any chance of any contact or anything. Now, he might try to get him loose to make the pass when he gets up there, but this is not the day to be worrying about that. Passing him is all that you want to do, and all that you have on your mind is going to the front.
Said he wanted to blow his doors off when he went by. Well, he's a couple positions away from fighting for that position. It's John Hunter Nemechek out in front of the field here at Michigan.
Why did we choose Safe Flight? For us, driving around is the only way we can get our baby to sleep. So when our windshield cracked, we can't drive this. We needed it fixed right. We went to safelight.com. There's no one else we'd trust. Their experts replaced our windshield
and recalibrated our car's advanced safety system. They focus on our safety,
Not a problem.
so we can focus on this little guy.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
If you've ever wished you could take buffalo chicken dip wherever you go, today's your lucky day, because Sonic stuffed it in a crispy portable bite. Now wish for something else, like more hands to hold your bites. Sonic $2.99 buffalo chicken dip bites.
So it's decided. We'll park even deeper into parking spaces so people think they're open.
Surprise!
Can't hear you, Jerry.
Sorry. Yeah, can we get a system where when someone's bike is in the shop, then we could borrow someone else's?
No. Or you can get a quote with America's #1 motorcycle insurer and maybe save some money while you're at it.
All in favor of that?
There's a lot of buttons and knobs in here.
I need to try it first.
This is it. One last chance at a playoff push.
We know what we can do. I'm ready to go to work.
A few familiar faces have already booked their tickets. Others are red hot at the right time. While a herd of hopefuls have some hard driving to do.
Around goes Bubba.
Those last spots are gonna go quick, so don't blink.
It's a season like we've never seen. They're neck and neck. My goodness, it's so close, man. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh. We have a winner. $1 million.
A field laden with champions descends outside of London for the season's final major. Will a new champion be crowned at Walton Heath? The AIG Women's Open on NBC, USA and Peacock.
Only 43 laps to go in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Cabo Wabo 250 from Michigan International Speedway. Here we see teammates Sam Mayer and Justin Allgaier. Those two fighting for the 8th position. Allgaier's running 9th right now.
It's been fun but frustrating to watch this battle because you know the 7 car's got a lot more speed, just cannot find a way around. It's so hard to know how to make this pass. I mean, and it's not that it's hard to pass a car. It's easy to get up beside them, but the side draft as a defense is what's tough to overcome. So this one car, 7's going to get underneath him down the back straightaway. He's got the momentum and the speed. Maybe this time he actually lets his teammate go, which he does. But if you wanted to, you could just side draft the 7, slow him back down, make him give that position back up.
So Allgaier got the spot, and 2 spots back is Ross Chastain. Marty, were we expecting a better performance out of this 10 car?
Well, remember they had the hole in the nose earlier, Rick. They patched that up. Ross Chastain at one point was 35th in this field, has stormed back up to the top 10, and that's kind of where the progress has stopped. So the car is better, but now it's gone the other way. Way too tight, not turning in the center of the corner. And you got to wonder if the weather's maybe playing a part in that, Kim. Gotten a lot cooler here in the last 20 minutes or so.
And checking in with a driver who needed a really good day, points-wise, that was Parker Kligerman. It has just been a battle all day for him. Currently resides in the 11th position. Hasn't been able really to move forward from that. They felt like they had a top 10 car, though. We'll see what he's able to do in the last 40 laps. He missed out on stage points, though, and that is a big deal. So much so that Patrick Donahue, the crew chief, got on the radio at the end of each stage to remind Parker that there was a little frustration between the two of them. So not a great points day when you're talking stage points. The same thing for Sheldon Creed, who runs right behind Parker Kligerman in the 12th position. Creed also missing out on stage points despite a strategy call by crew chief Jeff Stankiewicz at the end of stage 1 to take 2 tires to get track position. They were just not able to maintain throughout stage 2. Ended that stage 13th. So again, no stage points for Parker Kligerman or Sheldon Creed, who were desperate for a good points day based on where they stack up in the playoff grid.
Yeah, Kim, the bubble battle has has changed 1 point, really. From the start of the race, Kligerman was 22 points back. Now he's only 21 points back. But a change up front. We saw Josh Berry get by Austin Hill for that second spot. 1.5, now 1.6 seconds back from John Hunter Nemechek. And Berry looked to have the best car this weekend when we saw practice and qualifying. Does he have anything for him late in this race?
My opinion was that the 20 was the best car. The 19 was good as well. But Josh was a third on my list. Now that he's clear of the 21, I don't see, at least the last lap time by, who's not as fast as the leader, Nemechek, but this time a little bit quicker, but just barely. The fastest car on the racetrack in the last few laps has been a toss-up between the 19 of Gibbs in 6 and the 7 car of Justin Allgaier in 7. Those two running really quick laps, trying to run down these guys right here.
And when you show that point battle, and yes, the points as far as cut to the bubble haven't changed that much, but what has changed is Riley Herbst. And Riley Herbst is he is distancing himself from that bubble last week. He did a great job, got into a wreck, not of his making, still came back and finished 4th. This week, stage points in both stages. And Riley Herbst, DJ, I believe Riley Herbst is the most improved race car driver on the racetrack today. He is learning these lessons and applying them. He's not making mistakes. We saw earlier he could have gotten aggressive. He didn't. He got those stage points. He knows he has work to do. And I know Parker's a good road racer. I understand that, but so is Riley Herbst. It's going to be hard to knock Riley out of these playoffs.
Right now we're on the longest green flag run we've had of this race, 22 laps. And Steve, from down there on the Peacock pit box, we need to still stop again for fuel, correct?
Yeah, I believe the leaders are going to need fuel with somewhere between 20 and 15 to go, 17 to go. So the question will be, is it an automatic 4-tire change? Will anybody gamble on 2? I think you need to be close enough to the leader for 2 tires to work. See if you can leapfrog them. You see 26 laps since the last pit. That we expect them to be able to go about 46 to 48 laps on fuel.
Good battle here, continuing for second as Austin Hill got back to the door of the 8 of Josh Berry.
Yeah, that was a good race. And I would say, if Steve talked about the strategy of a green flag pit stop, my concern is what is the driver going to do? The Xfinity Series does not have a lot of green flag stops. Let's go back and watch this action. And catch the 0-2. He had some trouble. Hill tries to get underneath the 8 car. Josh Berry fights back and keeps the spot. But, you know, with limited green flag stops, the driver, you know, trying to get too much can make a mistake here and get caught on speeding on pit road. So if I'm a crew chief and I got an Xfinity driver, I'm already talking to him. Hey, we might have a green flag stop. I want you to start thinking about where your braking zone is getting to pit road.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this out there that if I were looking and crew chief of the 9 car for Brandon Jones, who needs a win to make the playoffs, do you even consider letting the other guys pit first that are in front if you can hang on that long? See what they do. If they take either 2 or 4 tires, which is going to take a little bit longer, especially if they take 4, hey, I'm coming in for getting whatever gas I need and jumping out there and see if I can get out front, make them pass me.
And Kim, is there early strategy yet for the 98 of Riley Herbst? Are they thinking about a pit stop?
Haven't heard anything yet. They do have tires kind of leaning against the wall, but there's no sense of urgency in terms of a near pit stop. But you guys were talking about what a great race Riley has had, and I talked to him this morning about where his head at, and is he paying attention to what other teams around the elimination line are doing? He said no. He said absolutely, I cannot get wrapped up in points. It's a distraction for him. So worrying about what other teams are doing isn't going to make my performance any better. He said it isn't going to help me at all, so I can only focus on my race. That's what he's doing here today, currently running in the 4th position. He said that car is good in 1 and 2, but really tight all of a sudden in 3 and 4.
So Riley Herbst running in the 4th spot. In front of him, Nemechek and Berry. The gap 1.8 seconds between 1 and 2.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy. Let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
We got the house!
Pods handles the driving.
Pack at your pace, store your things until you're ready, then we deliver to your new home, across town or across the country. Pods, your personal moving and storage team.
With Wendy's BOGO dollar deal, your dollar never tasted so good. So everyone's gonna get spicy chicken sandwich and a nugs.
I was gonna say a Frosty and a Frosty.
You can do that?
I don't know, Willie's really smart.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again? Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
It all builds up to this at Darlington Raceway.
If you're going to kick off the playoffs,
good stop, guys.
Why not do it big?
Green flag is up.
Like Labor Day weekend big.
That's how you make a move. And around goes through it.
Like Southern 500 big. The only thing bigger than the action
tight.
will be the experience of seeing it live.
Bring it home, baby.
And that might just be too tough to tame. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
NASCAR is on USA. It's a race for the playoffs. The drama. The excitement. The characters.
Believe what I just saw.
Next up, Michigan.
Big man contact back there. It's going to win in Michigan.
NASCAR. Tomorrow, 2 Eastern on USA.
And green flag pit stops have started here at Michigan International Speedway. Justin Allgaier finishing up his stop. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. He said he is really loose and dirty air, no front grip. As you see more cars making their way down pit road, Marty.
Ty Gibbs going down pit road. He flashes by Cole Custer. Said the car just way too tight for Custer. He lost a lot of spots during that run. We'll see where all these guys cycle out as green flag stop start. Sam Mayer, by the way, also running in the top 10, really started this green flag cycle a couple of laps ago.
And the aid of Josh Barrett, little trouble there on the right rear, maybe a slower stop than we were expecting during this green flag cycle. They were saying, be careful running the high line. You are right on the edge, Marty.
John Hunter Nemechek, the leader, comes to pit road here. They have had an incredible day after spinning on lap 11. One stage 2, so the car really good. What he needs is just a little bit more turn. 3 and 4 is what was really good for him. You see Austin Hill on pit road as well. Josh Berry leaving pit road, and Ross Chastain leaving pit road as well, Kim.
As Riley Herbst making his stop, he said he's good in 1 and 2, just really tight all of a sudden in 3 and 4. Right side Goodyear tires going on, a little air pressure adjustment for Riley there. Sunoco fuel as they put those left side tires on. Marty, it looks like Austin Hill coming down pit road.
Big issue for the 21, trying to get on pit road, really slow into his box, slow out of his box, Marty.
I don't know what gear I'm in.
Junior,
I think
he said.
I think that's the only gear I have.
There you go. They have gear issues, transmission issues on Austin Hill. It happened when he tried to leave pit road. He said he thinks he only has 4th gear, and that's what happened. And now Justin Allgaier coming down pit road.
And Justin Allgaier having to serve a pass-through penalty. Already made his stop earlier, so a detrimental day to what was a very, very fast race car.
Crew member over the wall too soon. The Xfinity Series doesn't see a lot of green flag pit stops, so they have to be perfect. And there was a problem with the 7 team not being perfect on their pit stop, and so the pass-through penalty. Watch here as a crew member will jump over too soon. So unfortunate there for the 7 team, who looked extremely fast, but now the lap's winding down as far as the opportunity to make up for that mistake.
Yeah, pit road, the spin on pit road earlier, and then this penalty on the pit crew. Between the two things, the fastest car on the racetrack, unless something crazy happens, he is not going to have a chance to win this race. You have to minimize mistakes. Xfinity races are much shorter than Cup races, and so difficult to overcome them.
Allgaier had fought his way back up inside the top 10, then the mistake on pit road. An issue for the 21. Austin Hill was up there battling its top 5. Says now they only have high gear. flag pit stops have happened. A few have stayed out. Brett Moffitt being one.
He's coming on the pit road right here. Have to assume that Ryan Ellis, the rest of those guys will be coming to pit road as well.
Sage Karam, Josh Williams, Joe Graff Jr.
So right here is the 20 car Nemechek, and there's the 8 of Josh Berry, which as this cycles, these will be the 2 lead cars. They've been swapping lap times the last couple of laps on the racetrack, but Berry just a little bit quicker.
2.1 seconds was the lead that the 20 had over the 8 prior to those stops.
He's going to have to run some killer laps to close the gap and make it a race here with just a few laps to go.
A little bit of a drop.
Now right now the same gap is there between the two, 2.5 seconds. Marty, what about the 00 of Cole Custer? Are they having some issues?
Yeah, Jeff called it green flag stops in the Xfinity Series. Cole Custer said he has a vibration. It's especially bad in the corners. And Jonathan Toney, his crew chief, said, I'll leave it up to you. He thinks the left front might be loose. They think they got him all tight, but Cole says, I think something could be loose. And then he asked, how many laps to go? They said 23. He's going to try and hang on for those final 23 laps with a vibration.
That's a tough call. You know, as a driver, DJ, you get to a point where you're like, okay, it's shaking too bad, it's getting worse, I got to pit, or you just endure it for 23 laps and hope nothing happens.
Yeah, and I think some of that time, you know, you have to consider where you're at. I mean, we talk about the speed at this racetrack. If there is an issue, it's just really not worth the chance. You know, you're in the playoffs, you've got a couple of wins to your credit. Just don't know if it, and hopefully Cole will make that decision if it indeed does get worse, but it only takes a split second to have a bad accident.
Nemechek now cycled into the lead in the 20 car with Josh Berry in second. Roughly 2 seconds behind, but a 10th quicker each lap. As a 20 trying to work through some tough traffic right here.
We'll see how much it slows down John Hunter as he has worked by some of the lap traffic. Ty Gibbs up to 3rd.
Some winners and some losers during this pit stops. Riley Herbst, we've talked about him, how good of a job he's done all day. He's lost several spots here. He pitted a little bit later than some other guys. That hurt him on some speed. And then he came in and had a 16-second pit stop. So between those two things, it's basically 4 seconds that he lost. And so now he's given up 4 spots, or at least 3 spots. Let's see if he can go get them back. His car is fast, but you just can't make mistakes. And now he's running in 8th, Kligerman in 10th. There are some people that haven't pit yet. Joe Graff Jr. hasn't pitted yet. But a day where Riley Herbst could have had a top 3 or 4 finish, now he's fighting to make sure he stays in the top 8.
Yeah, the one thing it does is makes those first 2 stages to where he finished 5th and 4th even more important, and how impressive that was that he did to able to gain those points in case he's not able to get all of these positions back before the end of the race.
Riley Herbst again trying to gain back some ground that was lost. Berry has gained ground on Nemechek almost every lap. He's getting a little bit closer to that front.
Yeah, this last time by, almost 2/10 quicker than the 20 car. And that was a clean air for both drivers.
John Hunter Nemechek has clean air in front of him for at least a straightaway now as Josh Berry continues to chase.
This lap looks a little bit better for Nemechek.
Gibbs, Brandon Jones, 9 seconds back. Brandon Jones up here in the top 5. Not a win, obviously, for the team, but definitely something positive.
Yeah, I think it's been one of his better races all year long. He's earned points today in the stages with 7 of those. He's going to need more. And road courses are coming up as we head toward the playoffs, and that has not been Brandon Jones' strong point this year. He would like to have a yellow to have a shot at this. Be able to put himself in the playoffs.
Well, we talked about green flag pit stops and making mistakes. Here was some communication from Justin Allgaier after that last stop.
Fastest car on the track. Yeah, we might be the fastest car on the racetrack, but we're almost a lap down. We're going to have to all take a good long look in the mirror tonight when we get home, all I can tell you.
And dejected. It's a team sport, and when you have a mistake on pit road, which ends up being, now there are 2 guys that can be over the wall already before he gets to this box, but there are 3 that are on the ground as he comes into that stall in front of him. And I think the Jackman was trying to jump and hang in the air longer than he possibly could, and so that penalty definitely hurts the team and put them a lap down.
It's a game of inches, and sometimes it falls in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. We saw him getting on the pit road, the 19 beating him on the pit road and everything, and all of that timing can throw things off just a little bit. But there's been races too when Justin's made the mistake. This team sort of had some of the faster cars. As far as the junior motorsports, they've been, I think, a better team all year long, and each week they've been really, really fast, but mistakes. And it's not just one thing, it's a lot of different types of mistakes. And once they clean those up, I think that Justin and the team will be tough to beat, because the speed is absolutely there, and especially in the last 3 or 4 weeks, Junior Motorsports has really found something.
Yeah, they're going to want to clean them up over the next 5 races before playoffs get underway. Let's go through the field. We'll start with Marty and John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, Jeff mentioned it earlier, Rick, the crazy couple of weeks for John Hunter Nemechek. 2 wins, then back-to-back 34th and 32nd, and here he sits with 15 to go, maybe looking at another win this year. And when you look at the regular season points battle, it's crazy. Right now, just +7 over Austin Hill. Going to be fun to watch these final 5 races of the year, Kim.
And Josh Berry running in the 2nd position. He was thrust into double duty this weekend, having to replace Noah Gragson in the 42 car on the Cup side. And I said, how does that affect your Xfinity Series side? And he said, it shouldn't. That's because I'm taking one thing at a time. I'm compartmentalizing each thing. I just have to keep the task in front of me. Right now, doing a great job of that, running 2nd in front of Ty Gibbs. What a rebound after getting stacked up with his teammates Sammy Smith. And John Hunter Nemechek was very frustrated with John Hunter, using that as motivation as he runs in the 3rd position, Marty.
Kim, in our pre-race show, Steve said Brandon Jones is trending up. Good call by Steve on that. And JRM, we mentioned the speed that they have brought lately. He told me earlier today, he said, the next couple of races, I just want to survive. I know I'm not a road course racer. The Xfinity Series has 2 in a row. Well, what an impressive 4th place run so far for Brandon Jones. Is that loose wheel for Cole Custer sitting in 5th getting any better? Listen on the radio.
Tell you, bud. I mean, I don't know if it's worth the risk or not.
Cautions
As the
come
caution
out.
comes out, yes, that's going to change things, and Cole Custer will be happy to hear that, Rick.
Patrick Emmerling in the 35. Slow on the racetrack. You see problems with that right front.
Looks like he's had some contact with the wall, obviously, but the tires actually look okay on the right side. I'm not sure if he's got a left front tire down that sent him up into the fence. Judging by the contact, not severe enough for a right front tire failure, so looking like maybe the left front went down.
Patrick was running in the 28th position when he got up into the wall, and so that means a restart. Take a look at what happened here with Patrick.
Yeah, that's left front tire. You see it bottoming out the splitter into the wall there.
Yeah, the first question is from the crew chiefs: are they going to pit or not? Is there enough speed gain in putting on new tires and giving up track position? There's 19 cars on a lead lap. Steve, I'm not so sure I could hit pit road if I'm the 20 car, but maybe back in the field you do.
Well, the problem is they don't have new tires. With only 3 sets for the day, they've put all 3 sets on. They do have perhaps cooler tires. Remember, that first stage was so broken up with yellows that there is probably a lower lap set of scuffs, or probably even the same amount of scuffs. These only have 16, 18 laps on them, like Nemechek was on pit road just 16 laps ago. So I don't think there's any chance you come to pit road if you're the top 10 or 12 cars. To your point, Jeff, maybe back in the field, somebody like Allgaier, does he want to make an adjustment? Does he think cooler tires will fire off better? Maybe a gamble back there, but for the leaders, I think it is what you have. Now it's all about picking right and having a great restart. And
maybe a little help from behind you.
Yeah, definitely. That to what Steve said, picking right, the choose cone. That's going to matter right here because whoever wins this race is going to need the help from behind to get clear and get down into turn one. If you can find yourself clear into turn one by that push you get from behind, and I think choosing the outside is absolutely the way to go. You box yourself, you box the car in behind you with the wall and the traffic below. And so if you choose the inside, you put yourself at risk being taken 3 wide. The car behind you doesn't have to commit. They're going to go for the win. So I'm choosing the outside here. Josh Berry, what does he do? Does he go to the inside? Does he go to the outside and push Nemechek?
And if he does go to the inside, he potentially has his teammate in Brandon Jones behind him. And so, but you also have 2 Toyotas running nose to tail.
Yeah, you just never know. I think if you don't take the top, if I bury, I push Nemechek down into turn one and I push him in there far. You know, and I get him up the track. I push him in there as far as I can.
You got to take the top here, buddy.
I agree with that. That's TJ Majors, his spotter. I think if you check the bottom, then you're allowing Nemechek and Gibbs to team up. Yep. And they are not going to do you any favors down here into turn one. They're going to try to do everything they can to maintain that 1-2 down into 1 on the top side. So
pit road is open now. We'll see if there are any takers that come down, maybe to put a little cooler tires on. But as Steve had mentioned, more than likely nobody out of the top 10 is going to do it.
If you think back to Pocono and Josh Berry was in a position to win that race, he got sent down into turn 1 on the restart, got pushed by Austin Hill, got loose. That ended up sending him up the racetrack, and that cost him the win. I'd think back to that and do it the other way.
Cole Custer's going to come onto pit road. He was in 5th.
Yeah, you talked about that vibration, guys. You have to imagine they're coming out pit road to check that out. Kim.
And Justin Allgaier, you see on the top right there, they were just going to do what the leaders didn't do at this point. Thinks probably they could have a little bit of an advantage with these tires. So 4 Goodyear tires and a little drink of Sunoco fuel, Marty.
Yeah, putting on the scuffs here for Cole Custer. You heard how bad the vibration was for him. Said literally the hood, and cowl, the pedals, everything was shaking inside the car. So Jonathan Tony really said, hey, I will leave it up to you. If you want to stay out, that's fine. If you want to pit, that's fine. But that left front, you see him taking time with that. That's where the issue was. And he also wanted them to check underneath the car to make sure something was not wrong. The vibration was that bad.
Drop the jack. Cole Custer will go back out on the racetrack. A restart with under 10 laps to go at Michigan. A fight for the win in front of Nemechek and Berry. NBC and the Big Ten have big news. Well, break out your Big Ten school colors. You can celebrate the inaugural Big Ten Day national holiday on Thursday, August 10th. Dust off your best jersey. You can share photos of your school pride with hashtag Big Ten Day and enter for a chance to win a trip to the 2024 Big Ten Saturday night game. A lot of Michigan jerseys here, obviously, in the state of Michigan. Pretty good move here with the deck on top of the school bus there. Haven't seen a lot of Nebraska jerseys out here. I'm not sure why, but probably not in the state of Nebraska, or it's probably not in the state of Michigan. As we get ready for the choose.
It's not basketball season, Rick.
And we're thinking that it's Nemechek and Berry are going to go high.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's your best chance for either driver.
Berry's faking low. He jumps back in line with Nemechek. We'll see what he does here.
He's going to the top. Gibbs going to go to the bottom. I think Brandon Jones, that was an interesting choice to see what he did. I think he did the right thing going to the outside.
So now Brandon Jones and Josh Berry will line up nose to tail. And those two are teammates. Nemechek and Gibbs, they had a difference of opinion earlier in the race. Marty.
Let's chat with Ben Bayshore, the crew chief for John Hunter Nemechek. I know the caution isn't what you wanted here, but how do you feel about your shot on this restart with your teammate on your inside?
Yeah, I think you're going to, as wide as this track is, as many lanes, this could get pretty interesting, but I got a lot of confidence in John Hunter to go get the job done in this Mobil 1 Supra, and hopefully bring it home here. Any chance you'll ask the 19 for help here? Yeah, I think they're beef squashed, and now the pay window's open. I hope they work together here. So, yeah,
It'll be fun to watch John Hunter Nemechek with an incredible rally. Can he close it out for another win here in 2023?
And Marty, what you were referencing earlier, there was a disagreement here between the 19 and 20. This was very early in the race. When the 20 got into the back of the 19 probably was a little bit loose before that, but the two felt like the other did them wrong, and so we even saw the 19 pull up beside the 20 after the caution had come out. And also involved with that was the 18 of Sammy Smith and the 77 of Carson Hocevar. As now, with 7 laps to go at Michigan, Nemechek on the outside, Gibbs on the inside. No pushing, as now everyone jockeying for position as they go into one. 3 wide for 4th. Josh Berry with the momentum on the high side. We'll see if he can do anything with it. Now Brandon Jones has moved up into 3rd.
Big run for Jed Burton down there on the inside, down the back straightaway in the 27 car.
Closest we have seen the 8 of Josh Berry to John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, he'd like to get there and make a move before the 3rd place car, Brandon Jones, gets any closer to where he doesn't have to worry about making a move that didn't work that time and then taking another run or losing a spot.
Yeah, we felt like Josh Berry had the fastest car before this caution, but now right behind the 20, aerodynamically, he's in a bad spot. He's going to have to find a way to run a different line than John Hunter's running.
Allgaier in that 7, moving up as we see the 11 of Daniel Hemrick backing through the field. And the gap a little bit wider now between 1 and 2. Coming up on 5 laps to go.
So right now, Josh Berry needs to run the line that he thinks is the best for him. Try it one more time in 1 and 2. If you do not make ground, then you've got to try something else. Up the racetrack, Berry looks like he got a good run down this back straightaway. Let's see if he can if he gains any at all. Looks like he may have lost a little bit, so now it's time to try something different. It's not enough time to keep going back to the same well, thinking you're going to get a different result. Running a little bit lower now.
Hey, stick that nose out there. See if he can get just a little air to the left front to help him turn and accelerate up off the corner.
We'll see if he goes a little lower here in 1 and 2. Going that high line didn't work for him the last 2 times.
All right, so he was quicker and he gained a little bit, so now he saw it. Now you're going to just have to run below John Hunter. But see, it doesn't work in 3 and 4. I'm sorry, 1 and 2. This is the side of the racetrack that is just not working.
Yeah, he lost a lot of ground there, and here comes the 9. Brandon Jones fighting for that second. They make contact.
I think Brandon was trying to decide whether he wanted to pass him or not. Pass him, help him, I don't know. But now the 8 looks out of the racetrack, looks uncomfortable. They're side by side down the front straightaway.
And John Hunter loves to see this. He knows they're doing battle. So see right here, you mentioned it, the 9. I think he thought he was going to jump on the outside of the 8.
8 was so much slower than the 9 when they were entering turn 3. The 9 couldn't get out of the way fast enough. But now as these two are fighting for second, John Hunter Nemechek pulling away. Over 1 second separating them.
19 of Ty Gibbs has drove up to the back bumper of Brandon Jones now. Running that high line. There you see Sam Mayer back there in the 1 car creeping into the picture. Sam in 5th place.
2 laps to go. 1.2 seconds the gap. John Hunter Nemechek could check off one of those milestones for Joe Gibbs Racing. If they're able to get back up front and hold on for the win, it would be the 200th Xfinity Series win for Joe Gibbs Racing.
And they're just hoping that nothing's happening back here in the back of the pack. There's a lot of hard racing going on in the back half of the field. He's got this one wrapped up if they can get to the white flag.
See Allgaier diving to the inside. Hemrick now coming across the line. 1 lap to go. Presented by Credit One Bank. Berry and Jones almost a second and a half back but Jones still fighting for that spot, trying to get second away as they have just the backstretch to go. The 16 smoking. Looks like he might have got into the wall. Chandler Smith, more issues with that car. John Hunter Nemechek coming into this race. 4 wins already on the 2023 season. Make it 5. He's going to win in Michigan.
Thank you for all that you do. Grateful for the opportunity.
And the crew will begin to celebrate. Ben Bayshore was a little bit nervous, it looked like, when Marty was talking to him before the restart. No reason for nerves now. 200 Xfinity Series wins for Joe Gibbs Racing. 90 of those came from Kyle Busch when he was running for JGR. Joey Logano, a young Joey Logano, when he was with JGR, had 18. Denny Hamlin 17, Christopher Bell 17. But the one grabbing the milestone win is John Hunter Nemechek.
That's a huge win for Joe Gibbs Racing. The first driver ever to win a race for Joe Gibbs Racing, standing right next to me, Dale Jarrett. It's amazing it came from that to where they are today.
Yeah, just an incredible organization. Been well run through the years, and just keep bringing drivers that are capable of winning races for them. That's what it's all about. And John Hunter did a great job, never getting frustrated out there today after what happened early on in the race, and bringing home this 200th Xfinity win for them.
Unstrapping from the car. We'll pull the helmet off here in just a moment as he climbs out. Pulls the gloves off as he's pulling the hat off. Kim, I believe you've caught up with the winner here at Michigan.
And what a big win it is. 200th Xfinity Series wins for JGR. And he sets himself apart from the field with his 5th win on the season. Wow. Can you believe it? Your team told you you made a win out of that. They've referenced the early race incident. You rebounded. You survived a late race restart. How'd you do it?
A great team, and man, I'm grateful for this whole 20 bunch. Grateful for Joe Gibbs Racing, this opportunity. Mobile One, Pi Barker, all of our great partners that help us get to the racetrack. And our Toyota GR Supra was as fast as Xfinity 10G today. But I have to apologize to Ty. I've been the one that's been very vocal about teammates here recently, and I put him in a bad aero spot, got him loose, and then couldn't check up. And it's my mistake. So I hate that we both spun early, but at least we both rebounded decently. I know he's not too happy with me, so he has every right not to be. But thankful for my team, all the guys. Win number 5 after the last 2 weeks. We said that we needed to come out here and answer, and we were able to do that today here in Michigan. And man, what a great crowd. This is awesome. Thank all you fans for coming out. Appreciate it. Taylor and Aspen are actually at home, so I'll see them when I get home. But hopefully at the start of the day today, Taylor is due any day now. So who knows, we may go have a baby tonight. That'd be awesome.
You apologized to Ty Gibbs, your teammate. What do you think the reception is going to be? He was very vocal about how you raced him.
I think that we both need to talk, and I definitely will initiate that conversation. I got to go back and see a replay too. I don't know too much of what happened. I know that he had cleared me and I had slid up behind him, and I think when I slid, it took the air off the rear bumper. He checked up, and then I barely tapped him in the back, and then I got ran into. So just chain reaction of events, and probably shouldn't have put myself in that situation. Just need to be a little bit smarter. But we'll see how he receives it. Grateful to still be here and win this race, but we definitely will chat about it.
Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
John Hunter Nemechek, 5th win of the season for this team.
And remember, they're fighting for a championship. So John Hunter Nemechek in victory lane, gaining some valuable playoff points that will help him as they go through the playoffs. Well, the other side of that is Justin Allgaier, who looked strong early. Mistakes on pit road got him into the back, got him a lap down, and you see the dejection from Allgaier as he sits on pit road wall by himself, thinking about what might have got away. Just a few moments, we'll see John Hunter Nemechek heading toward Ruoff Mortgage victory lane. And that's where the crew will start the celebration. It's a big event when you're able to win an Xfinity Series race. John Hunter Nemechek has done it 5 times already this year, so the celebration should be big. Celebration underway in the Ruoff Mortgage victory lane, and one thing they want to do is end of season be celebrating at Phoenix with a championship. Take a look at the playoff standings. Now 5 wins for John Hunter Nemechek, 30 playoff points. That is huge for him. And you see Austin Hill back there with 23 playoff points. That fight for the regular season championship really heating up. Those two now are tied.
And Riley Herbst did some good work today, padding his cushion to the bubble there in 13th place. Sheldon Creed loses a few points. Parker Klingerman gains a few. Brandon Jones gains about 16 points today on the bubble. That battle rages on into next week.
So the regular season championship is so important because the winner gets 15 playoff points, second gets 10 playoff points. You get 5 playoff points for winning a race. So it's like John Hunter Nemechek or Austin Hill would win 3 races if they end up winning the regular season championship. And right now those two are tied, dead even in points, with 5 races still to go in the regular season.
And Justin Allgaier in third. He's got to be sitting there wondering why. DJ, you just mentioned in a conversation a minute ago with me about, you know, he's had the best car the last 2 weeks, and they weren't able to capitalize on it. You saw him sitting on pit road, sitting on the wall. And it's just, you know, it's so hard to win these races. And when you do have the fastest car and you don't capitalize back-to-back weekends, it is exceptionally frustrating.
Yeah, and, you know, with someone like Justin, the experience that he has, he's going to have to really lean on that right now and say, hey, you know, things don't always go as you planned. You know, it's nice to have the fast cars that you're getting every week, but you do have to capitalize on that. And if anybody could use the 15 bonus points, playoff points that you get, it would be him sitting there with not as many as the others to try to help navigate through the playoffs.
I'll tell you who somebody who wants to get some playoff points, and that would happen if they got to victory lane, would be Josh Berry, still winless in 2023. He's standing by with Morty.
Josh Berry comes up short second. Were you thinking when that caution came out, man, here's my shot, I can get him on that restart? Walk me through what happened.
Yeah, we just built really tight that last run. I thought I was kind of inching in on him for a while, and then we kind of leveled out. So yeah, it was tough there, man. I feel like I hated to pick behind him there, but the bottom just got so slick there at the end. I felt like that was going to give us our best shot. And overall, we were just a little too tight to make a run at him there. But overall, we're just really proud of these guys. Obviously, we've had a good couple weeks, so we just got to keep working, keep getting better. Just thank you, Lube Zone, Mark Clark, for all they do for Junior Motorsports and supporting us. And like I said, just thank you, Junior Motorsports, Hendrick Motorsports, for everything they do for us. And a great engine today. And yeah, we're just going to keep after it, right? We're getting better at the right time. You know, definitely a good day for Junior Motorsports, and we'll be in victory lane soon.
I was going to ask you about that. Does it seem like a different 8 team to you and also Junior Motorsports overall? Is that fair to say right now? Yeah,
our cars are faster, and you know, we're making better decisions, and that's just making it a lot easier for me. So just hats off to these guys. Like I said, we still got to be a little bit better, but today was a really good day, and we're just going to keep working. And I think that if we keep doing the right things, then the results will come.
Strong second place finish for Josh Berry.
And Sam Mayer comes home with a top 5 finish following that win last weekend. How much does this carry that momentum for the team?
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 top 5s in a row for us. So super proud of this organization. JRM ran really good today. So that's all you can do at these places. You got to put yourself in position and bring good cars to do that. I mean, our car was as fast as Xfinity 10G. That's all you can do. So super proud of these guys. We worked our tails off all day, but it was just a little bit short.
First top 5 finish here at Michigan for Sam Mayer.
And once again, Joe Gibbs celebrating with his team, again, a milestone win. 200 Xfinity Series wins for that organization. An issue late in the race with Chandler Smith. And it looked like it was Chandler Smith, maybe Austin Hill.
Yeah, Chandler Smith is sliding across the nose of the 21. I don't think Austin Hill appreciated it too much. He gets in the back of the 16 into the fence. They chased each other down the front straightaway. But then you see the 16 realizing he has an issue. He knows right away he's got a right front tire issue. He's going to go up here and lightly get to the fence and then just kind of carry on the rest of the way to get home. They had a conversation about it afterwards. I'd be careful.
Yeah,
I'd be careful talking to Austin after the race after a situation like that. But Kim's got Austin, so we'll hear what he has to say.
Yeah, we saw the conversation between you and Chandler Smith, the on-track action. Walk me through what happened and what the conversation was like.
Yeah, I mean, him and I will have a more in-depth conversation on Monday. Colleague is in alliance with us, so we always have our Monday morning meetings with him. So I'm sure that we'll hash it out a little more in the meeting. And once we both cool off, we'll talk about, you know, what we could have both done differently. I just had a really big run coming off of 4, and like I went to the resin, or close to where the resin was, had a huge run, and since there was really nobody out back that we were racing, I was kind of expecting him to give me the top lane. Well, when he didn't and he slid me and slid up, I hit him as I was trying to cross and hit him in the left rear, and if you get hit in the left rear, you're going in the fence automatically. So yeah, I mean, it was like nothing really intentional or anything. I probably could have lifted and still cleared him and turned down a little more than what I did, but I was really in my mind expecting, like, all right, the 16 is going to give me the top here. And then when he didn't, it was just a last-second decision to turn left, hit him in the left rear, ruin their day. So really didn't want to destroy one of their race cars, hate it for them. But, yeah, I just a little bit on me, a little bit on him, and there's things that we can both look back on and do differently if we have that same situation happen again.
Sounds like a learning experience for both drivers here today.
And they're going to continue that conversation. We'll keep going from Michigan International Speedway this weekend. Tomorrow it's Countdown to Green on USA and Cup Series racing at 2:30. And of course, the NASCAR American Post Race Show right after the checkered flag flies, and that will be streamed on Peacock as well. So tomorrow's race has Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain. They will start 1 and 2 up front. As we look at the playoff standings, you have William Byron already with 4 wins, Martin Truex Jr. with 3. Is there anybody that stood out to you this weekend for this race?
Well, I think for you know, tomorrow Ty Gibbs has a really fast car, right? So can he capitalize on that, continue to work his way into the playoffs? That'll be interesting to see. Daniel Suarez, Chase Elliott as well, another fast car, but he's going to need playoff points. He's going to need great stages and a great finish to be able to keep chipping away at it.
Yeah, Chase Elliott's that driver I'm looking at. I think this is a huge opportunity. I know that he's really good on the road courses that are coming up, but I think tomorrow's a really big chance for him.
Yeah, can Michael McDowell, can he find a little bit of speed? He's in that playoff battle. He's off a little bit in qualifying, but they've got a really good shot to get some spots.
Well, there's more NASCAR and motorsports coverage, always available on NBCSports.com. Coming up next on NBC, your local news, except on the West Coast. It was John Hunter Nemechek, Josh Berry, who continued to fight it out all the way until the checkered flag. But John Hunter Nemechek gets the win here at Michigan.